Hey, Marshall, we need to do an episode for this week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe basket case. The guy in the basket.
Yeah. That's one I want to do, but I think everybody's kind of done that. So I'm thinking, what about maybe the final terror?
Hey guys, I got one.
Chris, hold on. We're talking here, buddy. But yeah, that could be good. But I also saw Milford Zombies. That was pretty nuts. I don't know.
I don't know. What about the Prowler? That's kind of people. I think have heard that one.
Guys.
Chris, we'll get to you in a second. Hold on.
Chris,
hold on.
Come on.
Easy, Chris. Hold on.
Easy.
Because I got another one here.
Okay.
Deathbed. Come on, Deathbed.
That seems like right up our alley, but I don't know. I'm still not feeling it to say. So what about I don't know. What about like Return to Sleepaway Camp or something?
Guys, jabronis!
Oh, whoa.
What?
Shut the hell up and know your role. All right, we're doing fucking Zombie Holocaust, a.k.a. Dr. Butcher, and we're doing it right now.
Damn.
All right, I guess we're watching Zombie Holocaust, a.k.a. Dr. Butcher MD. We watched it, so you don't have to. So you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad and scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horror, so bad and scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
All right, what's up, Moon Goons? Welcome to Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Mr. Marshall Hampton. With me today, as always, is my buddy, my co-host, Mr. Aaron Southworth.
Your Gutty is here, too.
My Gutty.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Yes, also joining us today, Mr. Chris Samples is back.
Gentlemen.
Gentlemen, indeed.
Did I cut you off? Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You know what?
nothing.
I'm kind of bummed that I have no nickname.
That's as I was about to, as I was doing the introduction, like Mr. Chris, like it dawned me that where your brain thinks fast when you speak.
We got Coffee Doug.
I was like, Chris has no nickname because I wanted to insert Chris something. Like, oh shit, we don't got anything for Chris.
Nachos McWerewolf.
Yeah.
Suddenly we got
Cincinnati
Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right though.
I kind of like Salsa Van Mummy better, but
I did enjoy that until the Cincinnati Jeff story came along.
But the Cincinnati Jeff story
It's a good story,
is
yeah.
pretty epic. And just on that note, really quick, if I may, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Cincinnati Jeff and Nachos McWerewolf for starting their own podcast.
Really?
They just started their own podcast. Literally yesterday it dropped.
No shit.
Yesterday it dropped.
fuckers are jacking our style, man.
I was gonna say, is it a horrible horror?
It
podcast?
is. Here Comes the Spooky.
We're about to have like a West Side Story rumble here.
I think we should join. I think we should join forces.
Can we do the Warriors?
Warriors.
But they started their own podcast. They've been talking about doing it for years, so congratulations. They're on Podbean right now. I don't know what other platforms they're going to be on, but right now you can check it out on Podbean. It's called Here Comes the Spooky. I think their first episode, they're covering The Burning, which is a pretty awesome movie.
Yep.
But congratulations, guys.
So they're
Wish you
doing
much
more
success.
like serious horror movies.
Oh, I was listening to it on the way here, so I haven't listened to it all the way.
I don't know. I would.
Either way,
They're probably
coming for you.
They might be a little more serious than when we do.
But they're still having fun. So far, so good. I'm enjoying what I'm hearing.
yeah.
Nothing like healthy
Chris-
competition, right?
Chris needs a nickname.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
sorry, I was healthy competition. I had to rub it in a little bit to our buddy Paul Cochran.
Oh, from the
today.
Pop Culture Intervention
Yeah.
podcast.
Yes, sir.
Paul Cochran from Pop Culture. He was
is
on our.
Yes.
He was on our episode last week of the Lost episode, Ghoulies
Which
Go
was
to
from
College,
2 years ago, technically.
which was from 2017.
Which I was also supposed to be on, but
yeah,
I was way too hungover from the night before to be on that one.
Yes.
However, I want to rub it into Paul a little bit because today the St. Louis Cardinals swept the Chicago Cubs.
Get the brooms!
Pretty much knocking the Cubs out of any postseason competition. So...
Wah. Cubbies suck it.
Sorry, that's my little tangent.
Maybe Chris the Rub samples.
A little bit.
Chris the Rub.
Nah.
No, that sounds a little too...
It sounds like you got like a massage parlor style. You know, maybe not. Yeah. Can I get a happy ending with that rub, Chris? Maybe not. Never mind.
I was gonna say fuck off.
We'll find something.
Anyway,
and yeah, you know what? This is the first time we all been together since the HorrorCon. CreepyCon.
Yeah, we did CreepyCon.
Yeah, we didn't say anything about CreepyCon. CreepyCon was a lot of fun. We had a good time.
We did.
We didn't. We didn't say anything.
We did.
So
There's one
thanks.
we did.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah, it was good.
All right, well there you go.
was
CreepyCon
fun.
was fun. We did
Yeah,
it.
it was a good time. Shout out to Yeti and the Horror Basement Podcast. I ran into him.
Nice.
They do a podcast out of Tennessee. It was nice to meet them. The people were nice. Everything was nice. But goddamn, it was hot.
It was fucking hot.
So fucking hot.
It was, really
was
hot
that.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knoxville was
That
a
whole
fun
weekend was
Yeah, I
hot.
had fun.
Yeah, but it was a fun little town.
It was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So back on track here. Before we get to the movie, first I want to plug our Patreon page. So make sure if you guys enjoy what we do and your followers, we definitely would appreciate any support
Yeah,
you guys give
absolutely.
us.
Any
So
little bit.
even
would
if
help,
it's
you
just
know.
$1, if every listener we had donated just $1 a month, it would really help. Help us afford to continue to keep doing this.
And I
all
will
our
not do
expenses.
any happy endings, but Marshall over there.
I am
may-
all about. I got a box of rubber gloves and lube right here next to me. I am ready to go.
It is literally right next to
I
it
have
right
no
now.
shame.
Maybe we should call you the Rub.
So yeah, we have new tiers up, new stuff to check out. We'd appreciate any help. Also, I think I mentioned it on the Myers Massacre episode, but I want to mention it again because I want to plug the Slasher Crasher novel, which I mentioned a few weeks ago, by
did
David
mention that.
Nora. You can find the book on Amazon if you like a good, if you're a reader and you like a good horror book. Now, it's not like a serious I don't know, so we'll say Stephen King serious horror. It's more fun. I mean, it's still got
Did you finish the book?
I haven't finished it, but I've made more progress into it. It's gotten really good now. I find it highly entertaining.
Good deal.
Sweet.
So, and if you like your horror with a mix of a comic book and references and horror movie references, there's a bunch of stuff in there to keep people.
Did we ever
liking.
find out if there's a tape version for Aaron?
As far as I know, there's still not an audiobook version for Aaron.
Okay.
Aaron don't like read.
When it comes to books are like audiobooks like Aaron's Velcro shoes. You don't want put them. You can't tie. You just
That was great. I love that.
It all soaks in, baby.
Shoes are shoes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Book's a book.
No. Tie your fucking shoes.
So check that out. It's on Amazon. It's been a fun read. All right, so this episode, this movie, like we said, is we're doing Zombie Holocaust, also known here in the States as Dr. Butcher MD, aka also called Zombie 3 in some parts of the world.
Oh, wow.
This movie's got like 8 names. I didn't write them all down, but yeah.
This movie, gentlemen, I have been begging Marshall to do since episode 100.
Yeah, I admit I forget. Way back when I remember you mentioned it when we talked about it on our
think
not
I've
the
mentioned
actual
it at
episode,
least
but like
3
we did like our
times,
little
but-
bonus episode, like movies we want to do, and you did. This was one of them, and
It took
just kept-
Knoxville for me to
yeah,
get Marshall drunk, rub his boobies a little bit, and then he finally agreed to do this movie with me.
just had to pet my belly, scratch my belly a little bit, just
Feed him a ribeye steak.
make me purr a bit, yeah. So
Put a
we're
bunch of
getting
whiskey
around
in
to
his
it.
gut.
So this movie was released on March 28th of 1980, written by Fabrizio De Angelis and Romano Scandariato, or whatever. I don't know, it's all Italian shit.
Very Italian.
Directed by Marino Girolami under the name Frank Martin.
You got it.
Yeah.
Killed it right there.
Yeah. That's it.
Sure, I nailed it. You can find this movie on Amazon, YouTube, Google Play, and iTunes right now. We watched it, at least I did, on Amazon.
I did too.
Where it's like under 3, there's like up to 3 times. You can find it under Zombie Holocaust. You can also find it under Dr. Butcher. And then there's like there's 2 different Zombie Holocaust versions.
Yeah.
Were any of them on Prime?
No.
Yeah, because
Unfortunately.
I was going to be really upset if I found out it was on Prime and I had to
No.
rent Dr. Butcher.
I think it used to be. I'm pretty sure I watched it on Prime before.
Yeah, they get shuffled around.
It probably
Yeah.
was at one
And
point.
there was one version where it was like, this is not available. I'm like,
I hate when they do that
Yeah.
shit. Like, if it's
Yeah.
not available, take
why
it
is it
down.
on there?
Right?
Yeah.
Don't show me the picture. I was like, oh, I can watch it. And then I get excited, like, currently unavailable. Like,
Exactly.
fuck you.
That just
Right.
pisses me off.
Yeah.
It's just like a little
But
cock
again, there's
tease.
3 versions.
Yeah.
Makes no sense either.
So the cast, we'll mention a few people. Our main Dr. Peter Chandler, one of our main guys, is played by Ian McCulloch. He's got 43 credits. He's kind of I want to say a cult icon, but in deep horror circles, people know, especially if you're fans of the Italian giallo or giallo style films.
Argento?
Not Argento. No, it's not the
Argento,
director.
pardon me.
It's like Giall giallo. It's a
Oh,
type
yeah,
of
yeah,
film.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
the
yeah.
gore, Italian
Yeah.
gore movies. Anyway, he's been in several of those. He was in the 1967 It, which is not the Stephen King It, by the way. I had to look that up. I did not know. I thought there was an earlier one. A movie called The Ghoul. He was also in the 1979 Zombie movie, so that's a famous one.
That's the Felucci one.
That's the Felucci one. Yes. He was in a movie called Contamination.
No shit.
He was not.
Yes, yes, he was. He was on an episode of the Hammer House of Horror TV show, and he appeared in several episodes of Doctor Who back in the early 80s. Laurie Ridgway, our main girl, is played by Alexandra Deli Colli. She's only got 11 credits, but she's most well known for, again, the Italian horror world, and especially fans of Lucio Fulci movies, because she co-starred in The New York Ripper, which we've done on this show.
Yeah.
Which is how I found this movie. Because I was watching New York Ripper, and I was like, man, what else has this chick been in? Because, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
she's
she's
pretty
the
easy
girl-
on the eyes.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure in that she was the girl that gets who goes into the porn theater and sits there and gets all horned up in the porn theater.
Yeah,
Oh, and they had that.
Oh, yeah, she gets finger blasted.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Or toe fucked, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
it
it
was
was
like
like
his
toes
foot.
something. Yeah.
He's got silver toes.
That's right.
So she's in this.
But she was like one of the main characters in that movie, wasn't she?
She was
Her
sort
character
of.
was Jane. I think sort of. Yeah.
She was sort of a main character. Anyway,
I don't know.
Yeah,
Susan Kelly is played by Sherry Buchanan. She's got 19 credits. She's also made a minor name for herself in Italian cinema. She also stars Emmanuel in Emmanuel and Joanna, one of the many, many Emmanuel softcore films throughout the years.
Yeah.
The Skinamax.
Yeah. And lastly, I'll mention Dr. Oboro, a.k.a. Dr. Butcher, played by Donald O'Brien, 64 credits. He was in The Name of the Rose, which was a good movie that starred Sir Sean Connery and Christian Slater about a bunch of murderous monks or something like that.
So Sir Sean Connery, James Bond.
James Bond. He was also in Ghost House, Frankenstein 2000, 2020 Texas Gladiators, and then movies like Flying Sex, Emmanuel and the Last Cannibals, Kung Fu Brothers in the Wild West, which I actually want to see that just based on that name alone.
Basically, yes.
And Sex of the Witch were movies he's done.
Man, they're really on the nose with that, aren't they?
Yeah, it is really subtle, dude.
Yeah.
I was doing a little research on him.
Flying Sex and Sex of the Witch could be the same thing.
Could be.
Sex on a broomstick. Flying
it just very well could be just multiple titles of the same movie.
I was
Full
gonna
of
say,
full moon bullshit.
I was doing a little research on him, and he's in a movie called Hands of Steel, which is about a cyborg programmed to kill scientists, hold fake mankind in his hands. What? The fate of mankind.
All right, we had to do a quick stop there because we had a little bit of audio, had some issues with the audio for a second, but we're back. Now, before we go, I did want to say this is going to be Aaron-led episode today. He's going to take the lead on this. And I think Chris is actually going to probably do a lot of saying. I might just kind of sit back and chill for this episode.
Get drunk.
I was gonna
Get
say I
drunk
don't know
again?
because I got like 5 pages, 6
Take
pages.
your shirt
of
off.
I
notes
took my
here,
shirt off and took my pants off and just get weird in here. Just get
Weird.
weird.
Reach behind you and hand that guy a koozie.
So yeah. Anyway, there we go. Zombie Holocaust. Aaron, take it away.
Okay, just a quick preface to give you guys a heads up. This movie it is fast paced. It's hit after hit after hit after hit after hit.
Absolutely.
So, holy shit, it was hard to take notes on. So I'm just gonna say that right a bit. But you don't care. You want to know about the movie. So what I'm gonna say is Zombie Holocaust, Butcher MD. Here we go. All right, so we open on a graveyard with some crazy synth music, and the grave markers are starting to falling, and they're rocking back and forth.
Did you notice the quick? Go ahead.
The credits are rolling, and it's kind of funny because they focus very closely on, was it Messy Snuff?
No, it was Snuff Maximus.
Snuff
Yeah.
Maximus.
was one of the headstones.
That was the headstone name. Snuff Maximus.
Snuff Maximus. Now, I did not look up Snuff Maximus. Did you?
But I was kind of wondering if that was like
I'm sure it's got to
Snuff
have something.
films.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
just like Snuff Maximus.
Look out, it's going to be intense.
Snuff to the max.
Yeah, basically. So, and zombies are coming out of the
But I
ground.
could also notice. Did you notice like the hands behind the headstones?
I
Like,
did not.
obviously moving them.
Rocking them back and
I
forth.
saw one like fall over and then like a hand jumped out. I was like, "What the fuck?"
And the zombies are coming out of the ground. It's like It's a creepy synth music that's really horrible. God, the music is so bad in this
Dude,
movie.
the Casio keyboard was on fucking
It is
time.
awful. So it is pretty ridiculous looking. Zombies are walking around in catacombs and stuff, and we get this paper kind of spin up and flop on the screen, and it says "Terror grips the city." something about 100 corpses that have been disturbed. So I'm like, okay, city horror sounds
Cemeteries, hospitals have both been like,
good.
and it's like all this build up.
And here we go. So we cut to a hospital where we see a guy. It's dark. Kind of made me think of Night of Something Strange in a weird way. This guy walks into a morgue. It's dark. He uncovers a body that's in there. It's this guy, this naked guy, uncovers him and starts sawing off his hand.
I'm glad that you're running this because I wanted to ask you real quick. How easily could somebody cut through someone's wrists like butter?
If you had the correct tools, you could.
Was he using the correct tool?
He's using basically a giant butter knife.
That's what it looked like.
There is no sharp cutting edge
That's
to
exactly
that blade.
what it looked like.
A giant like spackle putty knife. You just put spackle. There is no edge to this thing, but he cuts through a fucking bone.
I think he has a frosting blade for cakes.
That's what it looked like.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And did you notice the sound effects? It was like. I'm like, what the?
It was really bad. More awful music, and he cuts off this guy's hand, and then he puts it in a fucking doggy bag.
Yeah.
Right.
He takes it to go.
He walks into this morgue, and we've said this before. It's dark, nobody's there. There is no way that in a hospital that it's going to be like a ghost town.
No. And again, bodies do not stay in hospitals for a long time. They get shipped out pretty quick. Someone passes away. You know where they mostly stay? In the room until someone comes to pick them up and
They're
take
not
them out
even
of
in a
here.
cooler or anything.
No.
He's just out there.
I mean, I don't know what it was like in the 80s, but I thought that was a little weird. But I did like the doggy bag that he had. Maybe some finger food for later.
Right.
Hey!
Oh!
Maybe a midnight snack, some finger sandwiches. Hey! All right.
Wah, wah, wah.
So we cut away from
liked
that
it.
scene. We cut away from that scene, and we have a bunch of medical residents who are gathering in class.
We're in anatomy class.
Yeah, we're for an anatomy class, and
Okay, this scene.
What happened?
Nothing. I know. I'm just saying this scene. Go on.
Oh,
I
okay.
know.
Because I have questions for you too.
So the anatomy class is gathering, and they're like, "Okay, today we're gonna focus on the stomach." And he pulls back the sheet. It's the dead body that had the hand removed, and it's blatantly obvious the hand has been cut off.
Yeah,
and
Lefty.
Everyone's looking,
Lefty
going.
was there.
Everyone's going. And he's like, "Don't pay attention to that. Back to the stomach."
They don't even fucking mention that the hand.
Yeah,
is gone.
everyone just kind of
Everybody
stares
kind
at
of looks
it.
at each other. It's like, okay, moving on to the stomach.
Yeah, and then they show the actual. It's actually anatomy footage, which I thought was kind of
Right.
Ooh, okay, it's pretty fucking graphic.
But again,
You know.
it cuts through that chest like butter.
Yeah.
Are these scalpels made of antianum? What's it?
Adamantium.
There we go. Sorry,
See, you should have been reading comic books with us when we were
know.
little kids.
I wasn't.
You
But you knew what I was getting at.
Yes, you've been cool like us. Two 40-year-old guys in the basement
Yeah,
doing
so-
podcast.
I mean, you clearly see the fake torso that they
Yes.
cut open.
Of
But then
course.
you're saying like the actual stuff.
The actual stuff,
real.
it sure did look pretty accurate. You
It
know,
did
at
look
least
real.
It was probably anatomy footage.
Unless they were cutting
know,
open a pig.
It was
But
probably.
I was like, there's no, because there's a couple times they do this, and not in this scene, and then one coming up shortly, where apparently the scalpel must be adamantium,
Yeah.
or something, because apparently it doesn't just cut through skin, it also cuts through the sternum and the breastplate,
And
which I think
everything,
is
yeah.
And that's this
bullshit.
one too. I mean, it cuts right through the
Yeah.
chest.
yeah, but
But there's a lot of stock footage. I feel
yeah,
like, in this
there
one.
kind of is. But the anatomy class starts cracking jokes because the guy is missing his fucking hand, and they're just like,
What's he say?
"Why don't you give this guy a hand?"
You know, he says to this. He says to the girl, like, "I bet you cut off the hand." She's like, "What? Stop it." He's like, "Well, you said you wanted a hand in studying."
That's a really bad joke.
I know.
Like, that's really bad.
That's legit. That's a quote.
But your
from,
finger food joke was so much better, right?
Yeah, it was.
no.
Pretty much up fire with that. Dude.
You're right, Marshall.
So anyway, the doctor gets pissed off. He's like, "How dare you have such a dark sense of humor, motherfucker! I work with all doctors and medical people. They have some of the darkest, most macabre sense of humor because you have to."
So seconds after cutting open the dude's chest to teach these kids, he's like,
That's it. Get out of here.
"Your jokes are out of line.
Yeah.
Get out of here."
Class dismissed.
So what happens to the body?
That's what I like. I had so many questions about this scene.
Throw this fucker in the garbage.
douche.
Like, you don't just dismiss class, or like, because you like shut the fuck up and pay attention, or you sign extra work or something. You don't just like get out of here and give them a free day.
And
I even wrote in my notes, what about Lefty?
But dude, this movie, just the movie itself, anytime they need to move the movie forward, they're just like, okay, sure.
Right.
Real short, quick. They're just like, okay, class, get out of here.
And at this point, you get a real good indication that this was an Italian movie.
Yeah.
Because the voiceover,
The dubbing.
the dubbing is so wow. Oh my god,
Chef kiss.
It
yes.
kind of gave me
We
a
also
reminder
get
of
our-
like, speaking of Cinemax earlier. You guys had Cinemax when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So late night there was the
Yeah, so like,
softcore,
yeah,
right?
like the
Max After
softcore.
Dark.
Yeah,
the
Manuel's.
yeah, and the obvious like voiceovers. Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
So
this made me cool because we also get this is like where we get the first indication this hospital is a shitty hospital in my opinion. These are shitty doctors.
No
Our main girl Laura, who Alexandria
Lori.
Delicoli is there.
Lori, yeah.
Thank you, is there, and she's talking to her doctor. She's like, and they're saying like, oh, this is like the 7th time this has happened
Yeah,
this week
yeah,
or
she's
something.
just like, should we call the police?
And he's
yes, yeah. She goes, should we call the police? Like, nah, don't call the police.
like, nope, that would just make us look bad. I'm like,
Just make us look
what?
bad, right? Exactly.
This like happened like 7 times already. And people are like,
Yeah.
just let it go.
Don't
There's
worry
no
about
big
it.
You
Deal.
got some
Yeah.
weirdo going around cutting off body parts and shit. But nah, we're not gonna
No
call
big.
the police.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the next scene they cut to this lady doctor Lori driving around with some loser who fucking knows, and she's talking about it. And here you just at least you get a clue that she also loves anthropology. Not only is she a medical doctor, but she sure loves anthropology.
Right.
They
Okay.
hammer that one home a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes
So
no sense.
we cut back to the hospital, and we see a nurse come into a guy's room who's got
No. Before that, like she's driving in the car. He's like, "What's wrong? What's going on?" Well, there's been some problems disappearing body parts at the hospital. And he blows it off. He says,
Yeah.
oh, it's probably just a frat
It's
prank.
just pranks.
You should have seen what I did back in the day. Marshall, you were in a frat. Were you ever like, why don't you break into this hospital and steal a hand? Did anybody ever say that?
That was our Friday night.
Well,
Oh,
apparently-
really? Oh,
all the time.
Sorry, my bad.
Grave robbing
Write
was
that
like
down.
that was what we did. We dig up body parts.
They
and,
did it in Terror Train.
Yeah, I mean,
Remember that?
Yeah,
Really?
we that's what we did. Man.
He's
That's
like,
what you do.
You should have seen what I did. No big deal.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. Yeah,
I still got herpes from that corpse I fucked. So we go back to the hospital and we see a nurse come into a
God,
room.
I love this so much.
And she just comes
Coming
into a patient's room. The patient has blankets on his face, and she's like, huh. Pulls it back, and his whole heart, his chest is cut open, and his heart is gone. And she goes,
The scream it's such like it's like a synthesized scream. Like you just like just push a button on like a soundboard
Yeah.
and you go.
she opens her mouth for a good 2 seconds before a scream comes out.
Yeah.
And it's a canned scream.
It's a canned scream, and it's the same scream. This scream gets used like 4 more times throughout this movie.
Agreed.
Yeah, and the doctor runs in. She's like, Doctor, come in. He was just alive 10 minutes ago.
No big deal.
Yeah, and it's like, should I call the cops? No, don't worry about it. Don't tell anybody.
Don't
tell anybody.
Exactly. Like, you have a murderer in your hospital killing patients. He's like, nope, we're not gonna tell anybody.
Don't tell. Just,
It won't make us look bad.
oh my
You
god.
might as well just grab her and be like, shut your fucking mouth, bitch.
I know.
You know what I mean? God damn.
It's the worst fucking hospital ever.
Douche.
Oh,
Jesus
don't
Christ.
tell anybody. So we cut to we cut to panty time is what I like to call it.
Yes.
We go to Lori's house where we just get to see her take off her clothes and
did
walk
you-
around in her
Did you notice
lingerie.
like, the softcore
Yes.
porn music?
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
you knew exactly what it was. It was
it
was panty time.
Yeah, dude. I was like, and she's slowly taking off her stockings. I'm like, what is this music? Where's
yeah.
this coming
Yeah,
from?
she's wearing a garter belt, which
I'm sorry, I was so distracted by the goddamn like Barbie house looking design of the room that I couldn't pay attention because it was the design
Seriously?
of that room was horrible.
Hold on.
I can tell you're getting a little older when you start looking at home
gonna
decor.
say, I
No,
mean,
you're-
she's taking off her clothes. You're like looking at the drapes. Is that what you're doing?
We're watching a lot, way too much of the home.
Okay.
DIY shit, Property Brothers. And,
Marshall, go ahead and stay in the back seat there, brother. We got this, okay?
But no, like seriously. Okay, never mind. Fuck it. The room was ridiculous looking. Whoever
You
decorated
stand by
that-
it.
I stand by the room. It looked ridiculous. Whoever decorated that thing should have been shot.
All right, well, it's
And
1980.
we
so-
get a knock at the door, and it's this busybody reporter named Susan who basically just barges her way in. And I love Lori's response. She's like, "Hi, can I come in? Sure, but you'll be alone because I was on my way out." As she's in her bra and panties.
Exactly. She's
Whatever.
in a fucking robe. Like she took off all of her clothes and is sitting there in a robe. I was just about to leave. Bitch, you got no shoes on. You're in a
No
robe.
clothes.
See,
You're
I
not
thought it was a robe at
leaving?
first too, but I don't think it was a robe. I think it was like a weird
No,
weird night, like just like a wraparound tie-up dress thing.
That's
I don't
weird.
think it was a robe.
It looked like
But-
a robe.
I thought it was too, but when I see her answer the door with the tie-up, I'm like, it did look more like it could have been like something for going out in. So again, late 70s, early 80s. You know, who knows?
So Susan
And
starts.
Italian, so-
Susan's wanting to find out about what's going on at the hospital. What's going on with this? I hear it's acts of cannibalism. I hear it's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. You need to leave. And then Susan looks at the wall and says, "Oh, what's that knife? Oh, that knife? It's just used for human sacrifices from
No
back in the
big
day.
deal.
No big deal." You
I just have it hanging on my wall.
and there's deaths in the hospital and cannibalism. She's like,
Right.
"Now get out of here."
Yeah.
God damn it.
Well, first of all, yeah, also not just the knife, but her whole living room was like decorated like almost like African tribal stuff.
it was
Like,
definitely
shields and spears.
We're gonna
and,
call it quote unquote native.
native.
Yeah.
Because they
Well,
say that a lot in
native
this
is a
movie.
key
A
word.
good call.
Primitive native.
Good call.
Yeah. I mean,
Art
they just
and
constantly say
Ancient
that. Yeah.
native.
Yeah, but you're right. There's this shitty looking
Yeah.
giant knife on a plaque that's just hanging there.
So we cut
Like,
back.
it's native, but it's got like a plastic handle.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I didn't think natives
like
on the booty
right.
had plastic
Rubberized
handles.
Even the
handle,
blade
yeah.
itself looked plastic. I mean, the whole thing was just...
It's curved.
Yeah.
Yeah, curved blade.
Right.
Yeah. So we cut back to the hospital. The mystery man is back. And
This is the scene I was thinking. I love this coming up.
he's gone back in the morgue. He's gone back in the hospital rooms, and he's starting to cut the heart out of another body. But he gets jumped out of nowhere. He gets subdued,
Yeah.
and we find out it's one of the guys who helps out.
Yeah, it's one of the
Turban.
orderlies. Yeah.
There's Teton. I don't know. I just call
So
him
instead of
Turban.
calling the police, they just set their own booby trap.
Yeah, so they grab him, and it's the native assistant
Yes.
is what they call him. It's like, he's from the native lands. He's one of those natives from one of those islands.
For exchange program.
Yeah.
You know?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So they catch him, and they say, go lock him in the basement.
Lock him in
Before
the
that,
basement.
though, I mean, he cuts the guy's heart out and is
He's
about to
about
eat
to
it.
eat
He's about to eat it. Yeah.
And they jump him.
Yeah. So they're taking him away, but he breaks free, and like a fucking maniac.
Well, yeah.
breaks
They talk
towards
about
the
maybe we should
window.
call the police now. And as soon as she says, let's call the police, he breaks free and like jumps out of a fucking window.
Takes a swan
He hurls
dive.
himself out of a fucking window.
All right, we're yeah. You get the let's because they grab him as he's about to eat the heart, and they're like, oh, it's
Turban.
Tartan, Tauntaun, I don't know, whatever.
Toto.
Turban.
Taryn or something.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't fucking matter. And like, all right, lock him in the base, and then he like breaks free incredibly easily from
Yeah.
like these two orderly guys. Starts running, but when that sound of him running, he's not running with a lot of urgency. He's like a light jog through this one room. Everybody's kind of chasing after him. The doctor turns and talks to the
Lori
He's
again.
like, calling like, "Don't you call the cops" or something like that. Or no, he said like, "I can't believe it was him," or something like what he said. That's what they say, and then they catch him again in the hallway.
But that dive bomb. We gotta go to the dive bomb, baby.
Because I'm saying they catch him again, and they're like, all right, lock him in the basement. And again, this guy just easily breaks free of these guys. I'm just talking like we got the fact that these guys are supposed to restrain him are doing a shit job because not once but twice he breaks free of their grip. And not just one guy, it's two guys holding him down.
But let's talk about the swan dive.
And then he had
Oh my
head
God.
first. I love
goes
I
running
love this.
out of the window, and you see a man jump through the window, and
Yeah.
they have an outside shot of the stunt man
Yeah.
actually going through. But then it cuts to the actual plummet.
Yes, which I love the plummet. Love
And
this so much.
when he's plummeting several stories to his death,
At least 10.
Yeah.
At least 10 or more.
he becomes very stiff and stiff as a board. Maybe mannequin-like, you'd say.
Maybe.
One could say
Maybe.
mannequin-esque.
And
yes.
he drops with such force.
Wait. Are we sure it's mannequin-esque?
Well, I'll tell you why it's mannequin-esque.
Well, he goes through not one, but also two, like, glass, like, awnings, or,
Yes.
like, glass
Wait.
ceilings.
Are we sure it's mannequin-esque?
I am pretty sure.
Because
I'll let Eric take
because
this
when
one.
he hits the ground,
I fucking love this.
his arm pops right
arm
off.
pops off. The arm pops off. Are you fucking kidding me?
The arm pops off and like bounces around.
Are you telling me the director and the editor couldn't splice the film just a little earlier to keep the arm from
Marshall.
popping off?
Quit talking with common sense. Right now.
It was, so I saw that. I was
I
like,
know.
oh shit.
I laughed out loud when I
Me
saw
too.
that. I was
Me
like,
too.
"Are you?" Because because you can tell, okay, he's gonna hit no contact tape. I'm like, nope,
Nope.
boom, there goes his arm. I'm like,
goes.
what?
Well, it was 1980.
And then it cuts to the back that
Oh.
Turban bloody on the ground.
Bloody on the
both
ground.
arms attached.
Yeah, dude, he's kind of holding himself.
How many stories you see?
Oh, at least 10.
At least 10.
so he
least
hits the
10.
ground.
Yeah.
And he's still alive.
He's
And-
still
and
alive.
just the crew that was watching him catches up with him. No one else on the street.
Yeah.
Just the doctor and Lori and the two orderlies.
Right. And
Yeah.
so they must have like sprinted
No
down
shit.
the stairs because they come down the stairs.
They may have taken the express elevator. Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, he mutters something about it was the keto diet that made him do it. I don't know. He just says keto, and it doesn't make any sense.
And then they show that sweet tattoo on his chest.
And then
It's
you
very
get a
obvious of a
sting,
baseball.
and you see this weird tattoo on his chest.
I didn't think it was a tattoo because it was like it looked like it was just drawn on like supposed to like maybe blood or something because it wasn't black.
Yeah,
it was
look,
red.
they-
It looked like
They
like
called it a
blood stream.
tattoo,
Okay.
but yeah.
But it may
So
have been a brand. That's what kind of what
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah,
Like,
it's the same symbol you saw on the knife, the plastic
Yes.
knife blade
Yes.
in Lori's
Yes.
apartment.
and you're gonna see this thing
You will.
everywhere.
all the time.
So they go back to this new guy who's there, Peter. Peter's talking.
Yeah, mind you, they still don't call the cops.
No.
Still don't call
Even
the cops.
after a guy
Never.
throws himself
Yeah.
out
Head
a
first.
window. No police presence
Yeah.
at all.
None.
So we get introduced to this new character, Peter, who's kind of I don't even know what his job is or what he does.
I don't
He's
either,
with
but
the.
I,
He's
Dr. Chandler.
He said something like he was with the Academy of Medicine or like the medical board or something like that.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense because when they're doing a slideshow, like I came here. The board of medicine sent me to investigate
Yeah,
this
he
or some
was-
crap like
Yeah,
that.
Marshall just covered it. Yeah, they start showing a slideshow and they start talking about how there's cannibals doing this kooky ooky stuff.
in other cities or
Yeah.
other hospitals.
And
or something.
they do mention that all these people are Asiatic and from native lands.
and suddenly, Lori knows everything.
yeah.
Oh yeah. She starts breaking down about
Yeah.
how they do native people practice and cannibalism. Yes, all of them, undoubtedly.
All of them.
She's some of the
Every
keto.
single one.
Every primitive native person commits cannibalism. It's a fact.
She said something about keto, and he's like, "Well, I don't know anything about that." She's like, "Well, I do. It's from ancient Southeast Asia dialect, which means divine island or something religious." Whoa,
or something religious.
that's
something
exactly what she said.
religious.
And I'm like, seriously, something religious? Like, do you
Yeah.
know it or do you not? I mean, what the fuck?
But we see another guy with a tattoo who apparently was Turbin's friend.
He's doing the slides. Right?
during the slideshow.
Yeah, because she's like, everyone was like, enlarge that. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
did
hold
they
on.
have that technology in
Thank you.
slideshows in
Thank you.
1980?
Thank you. So we're doing a slides. Can you blow up that slide for
I
me,
don't
please?
know.
Seriously?
Like, if you're in the black, like, if you're developing film and you're in the dark room, you could blow it up there, but once it's developed, like, I don't know, it's not like a
And
touchscreen where you're like,
seriously-
okay, let me blow it up here.
Well,
or
seriously, when
double-click.
she says blow up that picture, doesn't blow it up that much bigger. Like, seriously,
No, it gets a little
you
bigger.
could have
No,
gotten
I was
everything
like-
you needed from the first picture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that was weird.
They
too.
talk about the tattoos and like, yep, those are tattoos. Those are from the keto people. They get it confirmed.
Yeah, apparently this dude was killed because he was eating the heart of a recently
Yes,
dead.
and he was so violent the police had to put him down.
Put him down, yeah.
So we cut back to the professor guy that was talking to Lori in the car. Doesn't fucking matter. He talks about that tattoos. What does matter is that we go to Lori's place. And back at Lori's place, he finds the place vandalized. It's been completely, turned upside down, completely destroyed. She's walking around, and Peter shows up. Basically,
nowhere.
Well-
out of nowhere. And
Yeah,
they
but-
find that the knife has been
Okay.
stolen.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So, and he goes, "Do you want to call the cops?" And she goes, "Nah. What can they do? Again?
What good would it do?
Again?
What good would it do to call the cops?
You know,
How, this part's starting to like, how bad are the cops in New York?
Oh, shit.
Question.
Like maybe they have a reason for not going because they're that inept or that bad. Like fuck them. Like
this is at least
seriously.
we're not even 15 minutes in the movie,
Nope.
and this is the third or fourth time they've gone like, "Should we call the cops?"
Nope.
Nah. Sure. So
So he's like, I was just coming to pick you up for that meeting in my office. I think you need a stiff drink.
yeah,
Let's
of
go.
Four Roses and ginger ale.
Right.
4 Rose whiskey and ginger ale. They drink a lot of 4 Roses in
I
this.
know.
Yeah, but
Hey,
anyway,
shout out to Four Roses.
Yeah,
Good
right.
whiskey.
Sponsoring this show.
I wish you were.
Yeah.
We'd have a bottle sitting here now.
That would be nice. Yeah. So we get a little bit back at they're at that meeting. We find out that Lori for some reason, grew up on those islands.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
What?
Yeah, you didn't
Right.
get that?
I missed that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He
yeah.
grew up on these islands?
No, because he says, we're putting together a team. We're going to go to these islands and check it out. We'd love for you to come with us. And she's like, nah. You know what? I grew up on those islands, and those are the most beautiful times of my life. And I don't want to look at through it with these eyes now.
My tainted,
These sullied
jaded eyes.
And then they
Yeah.
go, well, there'll be a Four Roses whiskey. She's like, I'm on board.
And then suddenly Susan and her boyfriend George walk in, and it's just determined that we're all going.
Susan the reporter,
Right.
who is the one who barged into Laurie's place, all of a sudden she shows up with George, who is Peter's assistant.
Yeah.
So it just conveniently happens to show up. And I guess that convinces Laurie to go then. She's
Yeah,
like,
I-
okay, if it's a double date, then all right, sure.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Which is really strange. So they're off.
Yeah.
They go off to the island and they meet.
Oh, no. We get this quick cut to like the stock footage of the
Airplane taking off.
And then suddenly it shoots right to like the bow of a boat. You're seeing this like little thing. You're thinking, oh man, a yacht, right?
Right.
And then it shoots to the actual boat, and it's like the shitty fucking
Shitty, like,
fishing boat.
steamboat or something.
It's like a shitty fishing boat, worse than the one in Jaws.
Oh, dude,
you know
it
what I
is,
mean? There's
yeah.
no place for anybody to be. It's just like a cabin
looks like it
and like
stinks.
boat. It's like, oh god, this is your your ride to the island.
Yeah, this
holy
is-
shit,
it's
dude.
pretty
I hope you
bad.
brought extra fuel because that motherfucker is like never going to work.
So this is where we meet Dr. Obero, but
Obrero.
I just call him Oberto. Like
Obrero.
Obrero.
I think of Oh Boy Oberto beef jerky.
Call him Oreo.
So I'm just like, Oh Boy Oberto.
Does he not look like a washed up drunk? He's got like a raggedy beard and he's just like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like half the doctors at Slew. Take that, Slew! Bam!
Shots fired. Slew?
Shots fired. They just built a new hospital, damn it.
But anyway, he's Dr. Oberto. He's pretty cool with manservants because he's got a whole
He
bunch
has
of
an army of
he's got an
man.
Sure
army of
does.
manservants going around serving Tom Collins and cocktails everywhere. And it's like so much bamboo furniture everywhere in this
Right.
place. This is where we meet one of his number one manservant, Mulatto. That's his name, Mulatto.
The black.
Mulatto.
This is the black guy.
The black guy who's named Mulatto. Mulatto the guide.
I just had him as the guide.
Yeah.
I didn't get his name for a long time.
I got his name because I was like, did they say Mulatto? I turned on the subtitles and I'm like, yup, his name's Mulatto.
Okay.
So Laurie perks up and she's like, hey, I'm really tired. I want to go to bed. And they're like, bye, good night, good night. You know, the dialogue is so unnatural.
Right.
And so bizarre. It's like, they're like, oh, welcome to the island. Yes, we've been here for so long. Have a drink. Okay, I'm tired. I want to go to bed. Okay, good night. Your room is right over there. Anyway, it's so bizarre
Yeah.
and fast paced.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's where I was coming back with like the overdub.
The dub, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe there was something lost in the translation because I get the feeling that since it's an Italian director, obviously an Italian movie, that maybe there was like more.
Yeah,
to it, you know what I mean?
It could
Like-
be, but man, it just does not work. It's
No.
so weird. It's so weird.
No,
Well,
it's rough.
Same thing happened with. I mean, you go back. Troll 2 is the
Yeah.
Italian director who was writing, and it was so choppy and weird, made the dialogue so awkward because he was
Right.
writing Italian and trying to translate to English, and they didn't.
Well, you know when you
translate
do
very well.
like when you're filming in like a foreign language, they have a different. Certain words mean different
Sure,
things.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
Doesn't
maybe
quite
it's like more
translate,
fluent. Maybe it was like cooler.
different cadence.
But then when you
speech
try to
and-
cut it over to like English, it's like
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
a
It's
lot of
very
languages don't
choppy.
have all the same like articles that our language does. They don't have like the same. Some actually have less words. And
Oh yeah, actually,
lot
English
less
has
words.
some of the most.
Right.
I think.
It's the hardest language to learn.
Yeah, it has of the living languages, it has the most words. I think there's one Arabic language that had more, but as of right now, it's the language with the most words. Anyway,
is this our
educational moment.
Sure,
There you go.
Why not?
Damn it, Marshall.
God,
So,
there it is.
Where were you?
So we cut to Laurie going to bed, and
I was gonna say either that or they're just trying to fast forward to
Laurie getting naked.
more naked Laurie.
Yeah, so we get some naked
We gotta
Laurie.
get to the important stuff.
And more,
We're
Yes.
starting to make
and
it-
more softcore fucking
Yes, more
porn music.
softcore porn music. But we also see a peeping Tom in the window.
That's got he's like a
He's
zombie.
he's got his mouth covered.
Yeah.
He's like covering his mouth with his zombie hand.
Oh, they
Yeah.
take the guy out the window?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Like, I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out what the fuck was going on.
pretty sure he's a
Like,
zombie.
I
Yeah.
think he's like a peeping Tom zombie.
Yeah, but it was the weirdest thing about it was like when you first see him, when I first saw him, it's like, okay, for you guys listening at home, like, okay, if you take your fingers and you like pull down your eyelids to get like the pinks of your eyelids to show, or your pink of your like underneath your, like that's what you see, like his eyes and like his eyelids are like pulled down, see the pink. I'm like, well, that's weird. Like, I guess it's supposed to be Zombie, but you see like his hand is like up over his mouth, and it looks like he's pulling his own eyelids down. He's pulling his own eyelids down to look creepy. It's like, what is happening here?
Hey,
what's going on with this
maybe
guy?
Maybe he's got droopy eyes and he's trying to open them so he can see all that titty.
Yeah, so we get like a picture of
such an odd
maybe a zombie, maybe a native, we don't know, but
maybe just a weird manservant.
It cuts back to the people talking, and they're talking about how the natives on this island, or this chain of islands, are the most savage and super cruel. They don't want any contact with civilization or the outside world. And Dr. Roberto's like, I don't know if I'm even going to do this anymore. We cut back.
Roberto's like not going anyway. He's like, I'm not going. You guys are going, but I think it's a terrible idea.
Yeah, he's pretty much he's telling them I'm done with these people basically.
Right.
We cut back to Lori, who is fully naked here, walking around, strutting her stuff. Puts on a t-shirt, no panties. Nice move.
Yeah.
And she pulls back the blankets to go to bed, and she finds a rotten, decapitated head,
maggot
with
covered,
maggots all over it. In her bed.
Such a Godfather move.
Such shittier. Yeah. She lets off another stock scream. Everyone runs in, and no bigs.
Okay. Also,
no big deal.
The symbol that we see is also
drawn
in blood.
Again, the keto symbol.
But the best part about this scene is when everyone runs in. Peter runs in and like hugs her. He's like, "Oh, it's okay." Dr. Obero or whatever, he runs in. And he says something like, "Whatever." Or he's like, "Calm down." He basically tells her to calm down. It's like, okay. It's like if you like your wife or your girlfriend pulls back her sheet and there's a spider on her bed. And she figures, and she's like, you're like, all right, calm down. It's just a spider. I got this. No big deal. Right. It's a fucking like decaying, severed, maggot covered head in her bed, and the guy's like, calm down.
Like, calm down.
Like, you're over it. Chill.
If they wanted to get you, they would have had you.
Yeah. That's exactly what he says.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's the calmest possible, like Marshall said, I mean, the calmest tone ever.
Bitch, calm down.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, should we call the cops?
No.
We're not going to call the island cops.
Yeah, no island cops.
The police are, no.
So, just calm down.
Yeah, and it's, again, no bigs.
No bigs. Right? And of course, they go with it.
Yeah.
They go with it. They don't question this. It was like, what the fuck? They was like,
you haven't called the cops yet.
They're not going to call them ever.
No.
I mean, one of their patients was murdered in the hospital. Right. They didn't call the cops.
Yeah. Another guy plunged himself out of a fucking window 10 stories up.
His arm broke off and somehow magically came back on.
Her house got broken into.
They didn't call the cops on that either. No. I mean, not report the police. Oh, my apartment was robbed.
Basically, there are no such thing as police.
No. So they cut to them getting onto a boat, heading off to the island.
No, I got back to the shitty boat.
This is where we see Mulatto drinking more Four Roses whiskey, mind you.
Right.
So they're heading.
Even though, okay. So we're back on the shitty boat. There's not even enough room for everybody on the shitty boat.
People like standing around,
we got Susan so excited to see the island. We got Dr. fucking Chandler with binoculars just constantly stuck to his head, looking out everywhere, right?
Look like he's scanning for like Skull Island or something
right.
like that.
right. Like what are we looking at? The ocean?
Yeah,
there's not even anything there. You just got these binoculars straight to your head. We got what's the
Mulatto
fucking
hammering,
slugging
whiskey.
Four Roses, driving the boat. And then suddenly George becomes a mechanic.
I know, because he comes up and he says, the boat's overheating, we need to pull over. And we're going to...
This dude is a doctor's assistant?
Yes.
What the
and all of a sudden...
does he know about a boat?
Sure.
He's a MacGyver, man. He's a jack of all trades.
So,
and that's what I also mentioned. We do need to mention that, I mean, just for body count sake, there's they also brought along, besides Mulatto, there's three
manservants.
Asian manservants.
Which earlier was supposed to be 4, but now I guess they were down 1 man. Because he said Dr.
He did. Well, I guess
Obrero
maybe Mulatto.
Is
Mulatto one of them?
He said a guide plus 4
manservants.
Bearers is what they call them. Bearers.
Well, basically
you're carrying the fucking luggage, motherfucker.
Yeah,
sucks. So they're overheating. They need to go up and go ahead and pull
big
off.
shocker, the fucking boat's overheating.
So they pull
Shitty
off.
fucking boat.
They're like, hey, we're gonna need to, we're gonna fix it tomorrow. We'll go to Quito. We'll just crash on this island.
Right.
They cut to a night scene of them like making camp. It's nighttime.
And Milano's like,
Yeah, they're
I want to go to that island.
they're handing out guns like it's fucking candy. Like you
See
get a
how
gun,
Milano-
you get a gun,
See
you
how
get a
Milano
gun.
hand that gun to him? He's like, barrel first.
Yeah,
Here you go.
sure.
Oh, thank you, Milano. What the fuck?
I thought it was pretty funny. Everyone's
Give
just
me a
getting
gun
guns.
that way. Whatever.
And the natives, the manservants are all hanging out, and one of them goes off into the forest, and then you just hear a scream. Ah!
Instantly.
Yeah, instantly.
Instantly.
As soon as he walks once he goes into the tree line, scream.
Yep.
Everyone jumps up and goes, "What happened? I don't know. Fuck him."
No, George was like, should we go look for him? Chandler's like,
Nah.
if he comes back, he comes back.
Yeah, it's like
Otherwise,
it's too,
we'll look for him in the morning.
I mean, I get that. Yeah, it's too dark. You can't go in there. I understand. But they didn't even yell his fucking name.
No.
Or didn't even, like, walk to the perimeter. Or, like, be like, hello. Like, Milano
think
does
Milano
yell out
does
his
that,
name
yell
once
at
or
it.
twice. But, I mean, what a fucking
Yeah,
asshole.
right.
Holy shit.
Could've
Peter
just
Cummings is a
stepped- yeah,
dick.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay, so in the morning, Peter
Call him Peter
Jordan.
Cummings?
Was it Cummings or what's his last name?
Chandler.
Peter
Chandler.
Chandler.
Peter
Peter
Cummings.
Cummings, I don't know.
Are we back in the porn thing?
I don't know, whatever. Emmanuel in the brain, I guess. Who knows? So in the morning, Peter, George, and Mulatto go looking for him. This is where Susan runs up. So Peter's like, everyone stay here. It's just us three leaving.
Right.
Everyone stay here. Everyone
Again,
stay
yes,
here.
Everybody stay here. Don't leave camp. Don't leave
As
camp.
soon as Peter takes 2 steps, Susan comes running up and goes, "I'm coming with you." "No, you're not. I told you to stay here." "But I want to go." "Okay, fine."
Right.
Like master of negotiations.
Right.
I don't want that girl
I
on
know.
my team.
Fine,
So I
come
thought
along.
that was pretty funny. Crazy, awful
And George
music.
is like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Again, back with the
And wouldn't she,
overdub. You know
wouldn't
what-
she go with her boyfriend?
You would think.
No, she goes off with Peter.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. More crazy, awful music. Again, I can't stress how bad the music is.
I know,
here.
seriously, the Casio fucking
Oh,
keyboard.
it's cringy. So they're going around for a while. We finally somebody stumbles upon the dead body.
No, it's Susan and Chandler.
It's
almost immediately. Yeah.
stumble upon the dead body.
And the
More
cuts are
scream.
out.
Yeah, and it's
The body
hacked.
doesn't-
It looks great.
Yeah. It doesn't look bad.
It looks really good. The hacked up body looks
Yeah.
pretty mutilated.
Right.
Pretty good stuff.
So it's like our first off-screen kill.
Yeah, and we get to see the actual,
Guts.
cannibalism,
Right,
whatever.
right.
Everyone runs up, and everyone's kind of freaking out. More crazy, awful music. Peter suddenly becomes a dick about the rules. "This is why you don't go off at night."
No, what happened was like Susan screams. Lori comes out and's like, "What was that? Don't leave camp. Don't leave camp."
Her and all
Don't
the
leave camp.
all the manservants go running off in the
Go
woods
running
too.
off after. Like, what the fuck?
Sure. And this is where Peter is kind of a dick, and he's like, "This is why you shouldn't go off. This is
Right.
why you should listen to the rules and not go off
Right.
in the woods." Kind of a dick.
What do you
well,
have the point?
Yeah, well-
like, the rules are there for a reason.
But still, it's like the wrong time to say it.
No, it's not.
You just came across the dead body. It's like, well, if you would have listened, you would have been fine.
Right, but
Oh,
the
that's
other
a great point.
servants.
That's right when you make that point. When it's fresh in their heads.
But it's like-
here's what happened.
Damn.
Don't listen to the rules. There's the evidence. Stay in the fucking camp.
That's Dad Marshall coming through right there.
But now
That's
the
why you
other-
put your lid on the sippy cup, okay? That's why you put the lid on the sippy
Right.
cup.
But now the other two servants are like, they're talking. They're like,
The natives want to leave.
yeah, they're like, we want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they know they're as much fodder as the red shirts in Star Trek when they go
They're
on.
the red
Yeah.
shirts.
You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
like, motherfucker, we're dead next. Let's get the fuck out of
And
here.
the natives,
you know?
great point. Great point. Hey, let's get the fuck out of here. We have one of our guys is dead. Let's just go, guys. They're like, nope. Bury your dead friend.
Yeah. George tells them, you'll be fine as long as you're with us. Now bury your friend as quick as possible.
What
the
a dick.
fuck?
What?
Now, you make a good
Dick.
point, because I will say some of this I missed a lot of some of the dialogue and some of this. So, like you're saying, like the manservants, like, yeah, we want to get out of here. Let's go. Why was there ever a reason why they insisted on staying on this island? Because one, this isn't the island they were supposed to go on. They just like they should be like, fuck yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's get back to the boat.
Well-
Because this isn't like their goal. Like, if this is like, no, this is where we're supposed to be. We're here for a reason. We have to. This is where the island we came to.
Well,
but it's not. It's
It's
not.
just like the morning They were going to look for the other guy. They just found him. So now the servants are like, let's get the fuck out of here.
It's interesting you bring up that point
Right.
because when they say they're not even on the island they're supposed to be on, and that's when they make the realization that they are on keto. Mulatto is supposed to take them somewhere else. And Mulatto kind of is like, I made a mistake. Yeah, we're on keto now.
Oh.
No, they make that because as like Lori and Chandler are walking away, they look over at a tree and they see the keto symbol on the fucking tree.
Okay.
And they kind of put two and two together. Someone's been cannibalized.
This is what,
the keto symbol, like, hey, we're on keto now.
Chandler comes back to Mulatto and is like,
what the fuck?
Well, yeah, what the fuck? Yeah.
But that's still after, isn't that
We're
still
on
all
keto
after
now.
the part?
It's
Like,
like,
no, we're not leaving this island.
Because Milano's like, all right, let's go. And
Yeah.
Chandler's like, where are we going?
We're
to
on keto. Yeah,
well,
that's
we're
what
going
it
to
was,
keto.
yeah.
We're on keto now. Oh, well, I must have got confused. All
Yeah,
these islands
so
look the same.
You can tell Mulatto's a little slippery.
Okay.
Something's kind of up with them. They go more walking through the forest, going who knows where, and they came across some more natives.
Right.
These natives just kind of like, they all start gathering. These natives are fucking native.
Yeah.
They're just wearing loincloths and spears.
It's like you see one runs away, brings on with another one.
Yeah,
and the two run away, and they bring back like six more.
They start to accumulate, but these natives look worse dressed than like the natives in King Kong 1930s. You know what I mean?
Literal
These guys are just
loincloths
literally
and
loincloths and a spear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They look pretty native.
Cavemen were better dressed.
Yeah, the manservants start freaking out.
Right.
They're just like, oh shit, let's get out of here. One takes off running.
Always a good move.
When he takes off running, he gets fucking Indiana Jones booby trapped.
Exactly. Yes.
Pops up and
He trips. He triggers a tripwire, which springs
It wasn't even a trip wire; it was a trip bamboo.
Yeah, it was like a trip stick, and it was triggers like a bamboo spiked wall, basically, that comes flinging out of the jungle and impales him through the back, which I thought was weird because most of those things come from the front.
It's pretty impressive.
Because you could kind of, if it comes from the back, you could kind of.
It must have a lot of velocity.
A
Yeah.
lot of velocity because you
Yeah.
could outrun that, but it should have come from the front, but it comes from the
Sure.
back. Gets him.
And when this
I
hits him,
said the servant runs into a booby trap straight out of a Lost Ark.
dude, it is. Yeah.
It really
And
is.
dude, and once that booby trap goes, the natives are like fucking soup's on.
Yeah, it is.
Dinner
Yeah,
bell
right,
gets
right.
rung, and they just go beeline straight for that trap, and they are so excited.
Exactly.
And the manservant still barely clinging alive. Just native runs up, puts his head back, and it's a pretty graphic slitting of the throat where blood is spraying out everywhere. It looks pretty fucking
It
good.
does look good.
Really? I thought it looked pretty.
It looked pretty. I mean, you
Okay,
can see
well,
the
I
makeup
let me-
for
that's what
1980s.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked. The blood effect was good, but you can clearly see
Yes.
the prosthetic because
Yes.
the skin tones are drastically different.
Of course.
So
If they put a little more care into it, it would have been great.
And then he starts cutting into the shirt, which obviously is cutting into the shirt. Underneath that shirt is.
Yeah, they start hacking him to
Yeah.
pieces. They stab into him. They're tearing him up.
I
They start.
did like the native who after he slits the neck starts like
Sucking the
like
blood.
it's like
Yeah.
sucking like from a
Oh,
hose.
yeah,
He's like
yeah,
siphoning the blood out of the guy's neck slit.
And it felt like, once he cuts open the guts and they're all eating the guts, did you get kind of like a Night of the Living Dead kind of feel? Because he's focusing in on the faces,
Yeah.
real quick, and they're all eating. You know what I mean? Just like the zombies.
Yeah,
from-
they're trying to hammer home the whole cannibal shock
right.
gore.
Yeah, I
factor.
mean, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good scene. It's pretty graphic.
I liked it.
It's pretty
Oh,
intense.
It's pretty much the first.
Except for the fact that we're at the 35-minute mark and we finally get our first on-screen
We're
kill.
finally getting something going. So and then
But
Pete,
but yeah, it's the first like real like example of the cannibalism in this movie.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
They're going for the big shock gore,
Yeah.
the shock value on this
they
one.
keep
Right,
focusing in real
Yeah.
tight. Yeah, Peter and George, they finally draw their guns and gun down a few of the natives as the others
How many
run
natives
off.
would you say there were? There's probably about 10 of them.
I wouldn't even say that much.
About six,
Maybe
maybe.
about six.
But they're all...
Clustered.
They're all
Oh,
clustered.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They're
So
clustered
it should have
around.
been like shooting fish in a barrel, right?
Right.
So
and they got
you're telling
two.
me these three guys probably took training from with the stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper.
Well, they got two.
They
That's-
got two.
That's better than
They should've got 'em
stormtroopers.
all.
Well, they are grouped together, and so to shoot one, the bullets, they're probably like shooting like 22. So
So
not
they-
big rounds. The bullets aren't gonna go through into the others. So fuck it. I don't know.
They scare a few off.
I don't know. You're right, Brad.
This,
More
you know,
high,
when
but-
this happened, when you see a guy get impaled from a trap and natives eating, you think you want to go, okay, that's it. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we're not. They're
right.
now down two people. Two people have been
Right.
murdered on this island.
And,
it's time to throw in the towel and say, let's get out of here.
They're like, nope,
fuck this.
nope.
Yeah.
Let's go to higher ground and defend ourselves.
Yeah, let's go to higher ground to defend
Dude,
ourselves. Yeah.
just leave.
Yeah, you have a gas-powered boat.
Mm-hmm.
The best these fucking natives have are like kayaks and oars.
Hold
Get on the water and
Hold on.
go home.
Seriously, guys. Hey, who is gonna carry all their shit back to
Right?
the boat?
Yeah. I'm not carrying this shit.
I mean,
there's
that's
one
fucking-
more manservant
Are you
left.
are you out of your mind? We have to defend ourselves. We cannot carry everything back to the boat.
So,
They had one manservant left.
they get on the
Double
horse.
them up.
They get on the some sort of like,
Mahalo. What's his name?
mulatto.
Mulatto. Carry my shit. Fuck you.
So they get back on. Somehow they get in contact with Dr. Oberto. He tells them to come to his other like outpost. It's about 3
That's because
miles.
Mulatto is carrying like this giant like
Radio.
World War II
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
radio like in like a it almost looks like one of those things like he's carrying on the front like you would like you see like modern day parents carrying like a baby and like one of those baby
Baby Bjorns.
baby
Yeah.
door thing. But it's just this giant like 2 foot long.
Right.
I think it looks like it weighs probably like 30-40 pounds. It's
you
got like a
imagine-
4 foot of tennis.
Yeah.
It's like whapping him into the face the whole time. It's like this ancient radio.
You're right with that World War
Yeah.
II because you'd have like your medic and your soldiers, and then you'd always have like the communications guy
Yeah. Can
you
because he had to
imagine
carry
being
all that
With a
shit.
Can you
giant radio on
imagine
his
being
back.
that poor bastard in World War II carrying that motherfucker? Like,
I'm the fucking cell phone.
yeah. I'm dead.
So Dr. Oberto says, "Hey, I got an outpost 3 miles away." They decide to make camp, even though there's only 3 miles away. They make a night camp.
Yeah.
3 miles. It wasn't really only 3 miles.
There's 3 miles.
That's what he
It
says.
took
Yeah.
it like
miles.
what, half hour to walk that maybe?
3 miles. Nope. They would decide to
Nah.
make camp. So they make camp.
That many
and they,
people, yeah, maybe about an hour.
yeah,
Still.
but still, they make camp. We get another spot where one of the natives creeps in, but Lori jumps up and hits him with a machete in the dome.
Oh, dude, she hits him with a machete that would make Jason fucking.
Oh my
proud
god,
as fuck.
that machete was gigantic.
Dude, she steps up.
Oh,
sees
this is
that thing,
the
grabs that
native
machete.
that sneaks into our
Boom.
tent,
yeah,
right?
yeah, they're sleeping, and it's the two girls
Well,
are
Lori's
sleeping.
not asleep because she had said earlier she's like, I don't think anybody's getting
But
any sleep tonight.
she's
She's just
chilling-
laying in bed.
she's chilling-
looking up at the stars.
She's chilling in her cot, and one of the natives creeps in as the other guys are outside, keeping guard. But he slipped through their
He
watch.
comes like face to face with her.
face to face where she hops up and whap out
Dude,
of nowhere
takes
she
that
gets a machete.
and it's right between the fucking
Yeah,
eyes.
you're right.
Boom.
I like you that she did Jason proud there, man.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That was a
Jason's
great
sitting back there like,
slow clapping.
So the mulatto, George, and Peter come running in, and they're like, "Oh crap, what happened here?" We hear another scream outside. Were they being honey-dicked? Because they run out, and the third and final manservant has been impaled by a giant
Red shirt.
a giant bamboo.
Yeah,
I mean, that prick's like at least 4 inches fucking wide.
and it's like
Where-
6 feet long.
Where'd it come from?
Yeah, it's
It
I don't
wasn't thrown
understand.
on it. It had been thrown through him.
Did they charge him with it?
I don't
Do they
know.
spear him and then throw him on the ground with it? It's
No clue, but
It's-
the poor bastard's still alive.
still kind of.
and they're sitting there talking about him like he's already dead.
Yeah, there's like who let this guy get stabbed?
And immediately, like Dr. Chandler's like grabbing up.
Yeah, he's back grabbing mulatto.
Yeah.
and he's like, motherfucker, you're on guard too.
Apparently, I can't see shit out here. It's dark. George's like, oh, it is dark out here.
Yeah.
Well, mind you, this poor bastard's still sitting there spitting, coughing on his fucking blood, fucking dying, and they don't get two shits.
Bunch of pricks.
They're terrible people.
Dude,
Yes.
Peter is busting so
the
much.
worst.
It's so funny because he's busting mulatto's balls. George says, "Dude,
Maybe
you can't
that's why
say
they don't
that."
ever want to call it cops. Maybe they have records.
And
or
Peter's
something.
still holding him and goes, "Sorry."
Right. Mind you,
Yeah.
I'm over here choking on my blood.
Poor fucking manservants.
At least
Jesus.
shoot me in the head or
Right?
something.
Oh,
Fuck.
God. Morning comes. Yet they come across more natives as they're walking through the woods. They're trying to get to this place. They're come across more natives. This should be a pretty good indication that these guys are going to fucking hurt you.
Right.
And they just kind of look at them like, oh, there's some more natives.
Well, what happens is
let's
they're walking-
Let's just keep an eye on them,
It's
see
funny.
what they're doing.
What happens if they're walking and then Mulatto's like, he stops. Well, what's wrong? Something bad's about to happen. Then out of nowhere, here come these natives and they start bum rushing them.
They get ambushed. They get ambushed by the natives. And they separate Susan from the group and they chase Susan down. they capture her with a lovely red silk ribbon.
Of course.
Where these natives get a lovely red silk ribbon?
Like, lasso her ass.
Considering they have like loincloths. This thing is beautiful and long. It looks like Chinese like silk. They like, basically lasso her. A bunch of them run up and grab her, trying to pull them away. George and Peter come up with the guns, and they're kind of taking shots, but they get overpowered, and it looks bad.
Yeah.
This is where they get overpowered. I didn't write down all the details because everything was happening so fast, but
There is a lot of splits.
there's a lot of cuts back and
Start with
forth.
George.
We got to start with George because George is he's the crown on this scene. So they're getting overpowered. It sure does look bad. Peter's getting off a few shots here and there. George gets up, but then George gets stabbed.
Yeah.
George gets pinned to the tree, and he gets stabbed right in the chest, and they drag the knife down.
Stab him right in
and
the chest.
this scream and his facial expressions, how this motherfucker did not win the Academy Award is beyond me. The scream's like, and he's just like, I can't even do the facial expression. It doesn't matter because you guys can't see my face.
And again, the natives are fucking on him. Like
they're going to town like it's fucking. They're at
the
fucking
dinner bell is rung.
You know, fucking a buffet, and they're just like eating like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like a crab boil and a whole bunch of Cajuns.
And to top
are
it
on
off, dude. I mean, this happens. I'm sticking with George, but they even poke out his fucking eyes.
Oh, dude.
And what did you think of the effect on that eye?
It was decent enough.
I liked it.
I liked it too.
This is 1980.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
come on.
I mean, they're feasting on his flesh,
dude.
reaping, shitting in, grabbing all kinds of stuff. One of them just
finger.
jams his finger in the eye hole and
finger.
pulls it out.
Yeah.
And another guy's like, "Oh, that looks good," and goes for it too.
Come on, the soft eye hole, Marshall. Where you at?
Oh, damn, you're right.
Where you at?
Sorry. I'm so sorry. You're right.
Sitting back.
Fuck.
All this is
I'm thinking
happening.
too much. Right. Soft eye hole. Soft eye hole. Soft eye hole. There, made up for it.
All this is happening while like
Soft, wet eye hole.
Oh wow.
while gleeful, weird Casio keyboard music plays.
Yes.
It's like it sounds more gleeful
I know.
than horrifying.
But all in the same time, like Chandler's getting
Yeah, Peter, he
fighting off.
looks like he's fucked. They hold him down and they raise the machete. They're about. It looks like it's curtains for Peter.
Right.
When all of a sudden we get. Oh my god! There's this weird synthesizer over synthesizer, and that's where we see zombies in the forest. Zombies start popping up, and this distracts the natives. And the natives are like, "Oh shit!" And this freaks the natives out.
The makeup on these zombies would make Greg Nicotero himself jealous as all fuck.
Basically, it just looks
mean,
it looks like someone took melted silly
Please
putty.
hint the sarcasm in Chris's voice. Like, Chris can be deadpan. It's hard if you don't know, but please know. Because it looked like somebody shit in a bucket, grabbed the turd, rubbed the turd on these people's faces, and said, "Yep, you look good. It's film ready."
The one guy, he's got these red blotches on his, and it's literally like someone took the palm of their hand and just like rubbed this red makeup all over.
Like that looks good, baby.
It's so shitty.
You look
Oh my
terrifying.
You're screen ready, baby. You're screen ready.
God. And yes,
Maybe rub some more shit on your face.
Greg Nicotero, if you are ever listening to this, I was not serious. Okay.
So yeah, the zombies break up the party. The shit zombies.
I think I just broke Marshall for a second. I think I just broke him.
So the remaining three, Mulatto, Lori, and Peter, they all escape and they make it to the outpost. They meet up with Dr. Roberto, and I love he's like, "Don't worry yourself. Get this man a drink." That's like the first thing he says.
My whole thing from that is that as soon as like Chandler gets up, like, it was really bad out there.
It was really
bad out there. That's all you got to fucking say. It's really bad out there. Holy shit!
That's what you say
You just
when
watch your assistant get his eyes pulled out and eaten.
That's what you say when in a bad storm. Like,
Yeah.
It's really bad out there. It's snowing hard. It's sleeting. Heavy rain.
When we were driving back from Knoxville, the weather was bad. We had to like really it was
It was bad out there.
we tell
That
someone
was
like,
bad.
"Well, it was bad out there."
Yeah.
It was not watching my friends get eaten by a fucking cannibal bad. I mean, that's like. horrendous, fucking something worse than bad.
Traumatizing.
There's gotta be another adjective.
But I did love he just get this man a drink.
Right. And once it come out with some fucking warm ass beer in a tin can.
Some like old Beck's in a tin can. Oh, God, that was so funny. Oh,
It was really bad out there.
yeah. They say Susan's been taken. She got taken away, and Dr. Berto's just basically, hey, she's shit out of luck.
Right.
Like, oh, she's dead.
Sorry. We can't do anything about it. And they're like, really? We can't? Like, nope.
Oh, there's nothing we can do for her.
Okay.
It's hopeless. Basically, Susan's fucked.
It's kind of the same thing as like, can't we call the cops? Nope. Can't we help Susan? Nope. Okay.
Can we get a drink?
Yep.
Right? It's not cold, but it's a drink.
And there was this weird scene where Dr. Oberto takes Peter to the side and says, you must leave this place.
Right.
All that will be left is a bad dream, which you must then banish from your mind.
Yeah.
Like a really weird,
As he's
almost,
sucking on this fucking... Yeah.
yeah, almost like poetic, like phrasing. It was really strange.
Yeah.
Again, kind of that same thing you were saying before, like the translation doesn't quite
That's what I was thinking, too.
get there. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm really snotty.
But at this point, yeah, he's like, you gotta get out of here. Hey, there's a rubber dinghy.
Yeah.
About a mile up the road. And he's looking at him like, huh? Oh, well, I saw it when I was coming in. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
That's right.
and you can tell Peter's pretty suspicious.
Big time.
Yeah, he's like, you want me to go to this dinghy and get out of here? And he's like, yeah, Mulatto will go with you. No big deal. And he's like, no, Mulatto, you stay here because it seems like you need help. There's natives running around. Lori and I will just go strutting through the...
So he scoops up Lori and like John fucking Wayne, he throws his fucking beer can on the ground.
I did love that. He
Takes
just
off, yeah.
Finish it and throws it on the ground. Well, I'll tell you what there, Alberto. We're going to go through these woods and take care of these natives ourselves.
Thank you. That's awesome. That's how I felt. And you hear the sound effects of the can like ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding. Really? It's grass!
So Mulatto and Doctor, they exchange glances. They don't like this. No. Peter and Lori, all of a sudden, like I said, go on a peaceful stroll to find the dinghy.
Right.
Peter doesn't. They find the dinghy. Peter doesn't trust. He's like, this is
The whole time they got like a zombie like stalking them too.
Yeah. They got people stalking him. He talks about how the doctor shouldn't have known they knew where they were.
Right.
He keeps shooing us away, trying to get him away from him.
Yeah.
He's very suspicious about the whole thing. They walk over to the dinghy, and it has two motors on the dinghy, and he's trying to start one, and it's not working. He's starting to try to get the other one to work, and that's when we see that
there's like a bigger motor and then like a smaller like trolling type of motor. Right?
Yeah. And that's when we see, like Chris said, the zombie that was stalking him creeping up slowly with a knife behind him. As he raises up to stab, that's when Peter turns around with that outboard motor, and it's going.
Yeah.
The zombie, I don't know how zombies react, but he's like, oh shit! Stumbles backwards as we see the zombie fall on the ground, and Peter doesn't even fucking flinch.
No.
He's just like, outboard motor to the fucking
right in his
face.
fucking face. Oh my god. So many questions here. First of all, why the fuck does a zombie have a knife?
And why does he react in fear?
Right.
He was scared shitless.
Yes.
I know. Yeah, there's a
But
lot
that
to
motor
unpack
right
in this
into his
scene.
fucking face, destroys his whole fucking face.
I did love that.
Yeah.
Did love that.
That was the moment where I was like, we have to do this
Yes.
movie.
I love that so much.
But you're right. The zombie. I've never seen a zombie retreat in fear, or like a zombie holding a knife. Like,
Right.
What?
Yeah.
The only time I've ever seen a zombie.
The whole scary part of a zombie is that they eat you and you become a zombie.
Yeah.
Why is a zombie like pulling a knife?
Maybe this zombie still has some kind of like mental consciousness.
I don't know. So
there.
I have a theory on the makeup now. Remember how we talked about they just look like shit zombies?
Yeah.
He did look kind of like a shit zombie.
Yeah.
I guess it's so when they put him on the ground, they could just have a shit zombie head that looks so much like... Because when they plunge that thing to his face, it looks great.
Yeah, I know.
It looked fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. So after they liquefy his face, Peter's like, just as I suspected, we were being stalked. And like the geniuses they are, they decide to go back and go take on Dr. Umberto.
Right.
Yeah.
What? You have a dinghy. You can get off the island.
Just get off.
You can go back to your ship. You can leave.
Whether the motor works or not, I would take a fucking
Yes.
bamboo and
Yes.
make a fucking paddle.
But
and
no.
Just
figure
cut
something out.
Cut your fucking losses. Get on the boat.
Gotta go.
And just go.
Nope.
Say, fuck this. I'm out of here.
These fucking
Dr.
dipshits.
O'Barrel can have his weird-ass cannibal native, this
Yeah.
weird little
Yeah.
island. I'm going back to New York,
Yeah.
to civilization. New fucking York, where I halfway around the world, where I don't have to deal with this shit.
Where I got an
As shitty as
office.
the police may be, I may consider calling the fucking cops.
Yes. Yes.
But he's like, nope.
Nope.
Let's go back and do this.
Let's go fight this guy.
He's not even like, I'm a fucking Navy SEAL. I'm a
No.
Marine. He's a fucking doctor from the medical board.
He's a
but we don't
balding
even
middle-aged
know-
man.
Yeah.
We don't even know what kind of a doctor he is.
Yeah. He's a Dr. Thugonomics is what he is.
And getting back to this, did you see what he was fucking wearing? Like some stupid fucking douchey.
Horrible, like not even a
Corduroy.
London fog trench coat,
Yeah.
and like a turquoise like button-up shirt.
Some fuck me boots and
Oh,
like some
God.
bullshit. Like, what the fuck are you wearing, dude?
Fuck me boots.
Yeah, he's wearing thigh-high boots, you know.
So they go trucking back off into the forest. Now, mind you, have you guys noticed this forest?
Yes.
When they go back into the forest,
Thank you.
huh?
It's supposed to be a jungle, right?
They were in a tropical jungle.
Yeah, rainforest. Yeah, jungle. Yeah.
Yes, but this scene coming up, they're definitely in someone's backyard.
They're walking through a deciduous forest,
Yeah.
which is very different, very much native to like the United States. You know,
England.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
England, the United
Right.
States. We're talking oak trees,
Right.
elm trees,
Yeah.
Birch.
spruce trees,
Ash.
Leaves.
and
Pine.
Leaves on
dead
the
leaves on the ground, and the trees are bare.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a stark difference.
Right.
It just shocks the system. I'm like, whoa, where do you go?
Did we go in time somewhere? Through a portal?
What happened?
And that is
So-
undisputed.
So they're walking through fucking Nottingham Forest. I don't know, Sherwood Forest. Who fucking knows? And Lori, being
Sure,
the,
nine have to show up. Collecting their
Robin of
taxes.
Luxy. Set a booby trap.
and that's what they did because Lori falls into a tiger trap. But she avoids the spikes. There's
Right.
spikes at the bottom, but being the svelte, sexy girl she is, the
Yeah,
nimble little
obviously.
minx does not get stabbed
No.
by the bamboo.
Are you all right? Are you sure? He asked her like 5 times. Are you sure you're all right?
Yeah. Yeah, and so
She can't help your ass get her out of said hole.
No, because they're going to use her as bait.
Oh God, yeah. When Peter's like, "Let me help you up," he comes over to her, and I'm like, "God damn it, Peter! Have you ever done a deadlift in your life? You know, this guy cannot lift anything." He squats down to pick her up, grabs a hold of her hand, and he's trying to lift her up, and she sexily tries to get out of the hole. She very much. As he's trying to pull her up, and he just can't.
Yeah.
Peter can't perform.
But I just, like, I know I can't gloss over, but it's coming up, like, so instead, he uses her as bait.
Yeah, because
Like, are you kidding me? You're using her as bait now?
as he's trying to lift her up, he looks up and he sees 2 natives. They fucking lock eyes.
Yeah, so, like, they already know he's there.
He locks eyes with the natives. They see him. He looks at him and he goes, "Stay there. Don't worry. Stay there." And he hides behind a goddamn oak
Yeah,
tree.
how stupid the name was name's like, well, dude, I can see you right there. I just
Yeah,
saw
no
you.
shit.
Like, what the fuck? How do they fall for this?
shit.
I mean, yeah, they're not college educated, but they're not fucking morons.
It's not like it's not like it's like out of sight. He's gone. He's
Yeah,
disappeared.
They're not like a baby with they don't
Yeah,
have like that
peekaboo.
peekaboo thing.
So the 2 natives, they come running up to Lori, who's in the tiger pit.
Object permanence. That's what it's called. Object permanence.
Ooh, very good. Object permanence. I like that. The 2 natives come running up, and they're looking at Lori, and they're just talking back and forth in Vietnamese, I found out.
Is that what it was?
Yes. So they're talking back and forth.
How'd you find that out?
I looked it up because I was like, that sounds a lot like Thai, but it's not Thai.
I just figured they were like Philippines or
Yeah.
or
Vietnamese.
Vietnamese
Yeah,
or like
yeah. Thai, who knows?
Yeah, but some island down there.
Yeah, so they're yelling back and forth, and it seems like they're not talking about, "Oh, we're gonna eat her, I can't wait." It looks like they're saying, like, "Hey, I saw that girl in New York Ripper. Well, I think I saw her in something else. Hey, I think she's been in a lot of Felucci movies." They like are looking back and forth, talking like we're talking here.
Should I ask for autograph?
Yeah.
Should I talk to her? What do you think? You're like, dude, you gotta do it. But I'm nervous. No, you gotta do it, dude. Just do it. It's all right.
They don't
okay,
seem-
I'm gonna do it.
They don't seem too menacing. They seem more starstruck.
Yeah.
Hey, let's ask her to see her boobs and we'll let her go.
So
She has her boobs, we'll let her go.
Peter's hiding behind a tree, and he has his fucking trusty staff he got from Little John in Sherwood Forest.
Stick.
Because holy shit, he comes up and brains one of the natives in the back of the head, who goes plummeting into the tiger pit, getting impaled on the spikes below.
That motherfucker didn't miss the spikes.
No, he didn't. He hit him like a fucking champ. And that's where we have the most awkward standoff between the other native and Peter holding his fucking staff.
The other native's got a machete.
And he's standing in the most awkward way. I can't really describe it. He's got his legs very far apart. He's basically almost like, what's the Leonardo da Vinci...
Vitruvian Man?
Yes, he's just
Vitruvian
kind of like
Man.
standing with his arms and legs completely spread out, and he's holding his machete up awkwardly, where fucking Peter's holding his fucking staff like a sword. The machete native,
Right.
The machete wielding native is like, "Oh yeah, I have a fucking machete." Cuts his thing down, but that doesn't matter because Peter does get the upper hand, whacks him a few times, and wins. And he seems really proud of this.
He does.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, how did you not break that stick over that
I gotta say,
fucking
I
head?
would be the same way. If I beat two guys with a machete with a fucking staff,
Yeah.
I'd be like, King Kong ain't got nothing on me. You know, I'd be fucking pumped.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'd be the same way.
Was that a Will Smith quote?
Oh, that's Denzel Washington.
Oh, it's,
Training day, bitch. Training
shit,
day.
you're
King
right.
Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Yeah. And then,
then after that, he gets killed. So.
yeah.
All right, well,
But then, you know,
Moving
Peter gets Laurie out of the hole.
finally,
And then all of a sudden, they take a few steps and they're back in the tropics.
doesn't take long.
So they're out of Sherwood Forest and back in the tropics.
It's terrible.
So
The
bad.
same thing. I was like, why the fuck are we in the backyard?
In fall.
Where'd the palm trees
in
go?
the fall.
Where'd the palm trees go?
So many dead leaves on the ground. So they're walking around. They see Susan. They're like, "Oh, look, there's Susan. There's Susan. Susan's got her pretty hair, and she's playing with her fucking camera." And we're like, "Oh, Susan's okay."
Yeah.
They go running up to Susan. They grab her by the hair, which is weird, and they pull it off. And it's a zombie who's wearing Susan's scalp. Ah!
That's the first time I've ever seen a zombie in a wig.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, like, these zombies are pretty tame because somebody, like, they had to sit there longer to get dressed up. Like, I've never seen a zombie sit to get, like, beautified. Like,
Yeah.
who's doing
These
this?
zombies do a lot of things that are
Man,
not
the
zombie-like.
the zombies in this movie are fucking
They do their thing, man.
not zombies.
They do their own thing. We cut to Dr. Oberto, who has Susan tied down with her scalp removed, performing what I'm assuming is going to be brain surgery because
Yeah.
she's awake
Who fucking
and she's
knows?
talking, which you do
And this is
during brain
real
surgery.
confusing. Like,
This is where we get a lot of the mumbo jumbo.
he explains it, but I'm still like,
Doesn't make any sense.
huh?
It's
The fun, well, and this is probably
What?
stupid, but the one thing I found odd is, like you said, when we see them take the scalp off the zombie, you see like scalp like underneath the hair, like you see her skin and like it removed
Yeah.
from her head. But when you go to see Susan, she's just bald.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no trauma, like none part of her top of her head. She's not bloody. She's just like somebody just took a razor and shaved her.
she's
bald.
got middle-aged
Right.
ring around the head,
Yeah,
bald
well, she
man
just
thing.
bald.
Talk
Like,
real
what?
quick about Abero's fucking lab. I mean,
Sure.
it's a fucking shack in the middle of the jungle.
Yeah.
There's no air conditioning. This place is just wide open to all the elements.
Sure.
It's already
he
not.
looks
Like,
like
it can't be
it-
sterile. There's no way that thing
Exactly,
can be
dude.
sterile.
He looks like a dirty fucking drunk,
Sure.
and like,
And
he's just performing surgeries
And
out here.
that
like,
part's not
what the
I,
fuck?
I get that. That's fine.
He's like the shady back alley doctor that criminals and mobsters use when they get shot. Like, I
Yeah.
can't go to the hospital, man. Well, I got a guy, but you're
Yeah.
not gonna,
Oh.
he'll
But
do it.
I
but-
do
To
love
me, it
that.
reminded me of like the shitty place where the Jack Nicholson Joker got his fucking
Yeah.
face
Yeah. But Chris brings up a good point. He doesn't seem to care about sterility. He doesn't
No.
seem to care. However, before he gives her an injection in the neck, he does sterilize her neck before he gives her a shot.
No, he explains that he's about to cut open her jugular and do a bypass
This is all mumbo jumbo.
to eliminate the blood from the brain.
It's-
What the fuck are we talking about?
He's
Doc?
waxing on and on about medical jargon, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
A lot of it doesn't make any sense. Kind of like Chris was saying, he's like, "What?
Right.
What? I'm in the medical field. And I'm going, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all just bullshit.
Agreed.
He's just talking to
Thank
hear
you.
himself talk. But
I
we
mean,
just
you are a resident medical advisor, so I was wanting to make sure that you thought it was bullshit.
Oh, it's
too.
bullshit. Yeah. So it's just kind of like shock value to see, blood, medical stuff, ooga booga. We cut back to Lori and Peter,
Ooga booga.
who they get to the outpost. So they've made it back to Dr. Oberto. It's nighttime. They're sneaking in, and we see Doctor transferring Susan's brain into a 10-day-old corpse.
Well, he explains that he's about to cut open her brain, and he's going to remove her brain and put it in a 10. So he's starting to cut open.
Yeah,
her head,
you see
essentially
the skull saw, or the surgical
Right.
saw cutting open the head. It doesn't look bad.
No.
I get for 1980s. It doesn't look great though.
There's not enough blood. I think.
I
but-
thought this was going to be a really grody scene,
Yeah.
but it really wasn't that. Compared to what we've already seen,
No.
not that
You
shocking.
saw his hair moving because of the saw.
The
but
vibration,
There was
yeah.
no nothing. But at this point, is Dr. Chandler still trying to break into this door?
Forever. He's trying to pry it open
So
with a
with a
stick that
stick?
he found.
With his fucking...
His trusty stick.
Trusty staff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
Okay.
little John staff.
And then we switched to...
What?
And then suddenly,
What? Okay. Yeah.
I'm on the East Bank. I'm on the West Bank. Right?
Skeet. I can't believe you got to that me first. When I said, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit him with a little John." Then all of a sudden, you busted. So finally, we get Peter and
Sorry.
Lori break in.
Hold on, can we real quick? I realized you're doing Little John, but I immediately went to Dave Chappelle, which took me to Men in Tights. When they're
Oh,
fucking
back
fighting
in
over-
Sherwood
When
Forest.
they're fighting over the fucking... It's like, this is a
no.
creek. I'm on the East Bank. I'm on the West Bank. They end up doing that. They break the staffs
Yes.
down to where they're like the size
The
of
little-
pencils, and then they do
yeah.
like a pencil war.
Hitting each other on the knuckles. Oh, why didn't we watch that movie?
Good question. It's great.
So Peter and Lori break in, and they find a bunch of
Yes, so they break in.
Yeah.
Finally, the door just pushes itself
Pushes
open.
open.
Like he's fighting with this door for so long.
Forever.
It bothered me so bad. I'm sorry.
We finally get in. We see a bunch of dead natives that are strung upside down, and others that are hung like cattle, like meat hooks.
Which
So-
comes back to like the cleanliness of said
Yeah,
place.
yeah, exactly.
How do you think that place smelled, guys?
Ugh, jungle heat and humidity.
Yeah.
No, actually, that had been.
So let me ask you this. Let's go back real quick to where he, Dr. Chandler is back there sucking his fucking warm
Those
backs.
worm backs down.
How do you think that place smelled from the outside then?
Wouldn't that be a clue?
Yeah.
Yeah, since it smells like my swamp ass outside, what does it
Yeah.
smell like inside? Yeah.
Yeah. Swamp ass is probably putting it lightly.
So they're looking at these natives and like, ooh, they're like struck. And of course, some zombies jump out and some zombies jump out and Lori, they jump Lori, but Peter uses his trusty stick to take him out, which he's good with
What?
his stick. Dr. Umberto and Mulatto do get the drop on him with guns. They're like, get that stick down, put that stick away, because Peter's beating ass with his stick, so they had to get the guns. This is where we have Doctor basically does his Bond villain reveal.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I said.
It totally is. So he's
Which
basically
is why I said the Bond thing earlier.
yeah. So basically, he says he's on the verge of extending the human life, but to 100 years beyond what it is currently. So he can extend life to 100 years. He's using natives as a scientific studies. He said, he's made a deal with the natives to make them convince them that they will be like gods.
Right.
Yeah, he's
He's
basically
the one that reintroduced the cannibalism.
yeah. So he's the guy who's basically the cause of all this. Peter causes a distraction, and for Lori to make a run for it. Peter's not so lucky. He gets restrained by Umberto and the doctor. Now, Lori, being the
Mulatto and the doctor.
Mulatto, thank you, Mulatto and the doctor. Lori, now she has a chance to run for it.
Yeah.
She doesn't get too far.
No.
She basically just gets outside.
She gets outside that impossible door to open.
Yeah.
And is like immediately abducted by the natives.
And drug away into the dark. We cut back to Peter, who's on an OR table, and it looks grim for Peter. This is where it was a little confusing. Did the doctor give him super soldier serum?
Well, first of all, it was like, I can't wait to. I want
to work on a Caucasian brain.
So Susan,
A Caucasian male's brain.
so Susan, thrown away.
I'm tired of
Yeah.
these colored people. I'm tired of white boy. I want a white boy to work on.
God. So, yeah,
In typical Bond villain fashion, they strap him to the table.
Yes.
And says, I'm going to inject you with something and I'll put you to sleep.
yeah.
So that you're well rested for the next day because I want all my patients to be well rested.
Back to their full strength. So, does he give him super soldier serum?
I
What
don't
does he
know.
give him?
So basically, it makes him fucking pass the fuck out.
Yeah.
They turn off the lights. Say,
Yeah.
nighty night. We'll see you in the morning.
And they leave, and this is where we see Peter struggling to try and free himself, and it looks like he's about to do it, but nope.
As soon as he gets his fingers on a scalpel.
And this is a long scene.
Oh, it is so
He's
long.
fingering at the cloth. He's able to pull it over. He's got his hands on the
He
scalpel.
knocks over a fucking
He knocks shit
metal
over.
pan.
He pauses for a while.
right.
It's so long for no
know.
payoff.
No.
Oh, he just passes out. Oh, God. Next, we cut to a native party, and boy, it is lit. All of a sudden, we cut to this. We cut this. There's drum music. Boom,
Right.
boom, 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 boom,
So we're like the
boom,
caves
boom,
of the
boom, boom.
native.
In the caves, it's lit, and we see Lori butt-ass naked.
Butt-ass naked.
Just
And she's
standing
there. Just
like
so.
statuesque. In a statue pose as they're doing body paint
And
on
they're
her.
putting they're painting flowers on her as if we're
Like-
in the fucking San Francisco in the 1960s.
It's Woodstock.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
yeah, I was like, she's so calm. She's surrounded by like the cannibals in their lane.
First
she's
of
like,
all,
she's
this
so
chick
chill.
has had pretty much zero emotion throughout this whole movie.
that's true.
With here and there of like, but other than that, she's been totally fucking.
Dude, they're like, look, we're gonna make you look so fly, honey. She's like,
Right.
in. And she's just posing as they're painting her.
Right.
No problem
She's
whatsoever.
posing like you would see
Yeah.
like in one of like a college like figure drawing art class.
Yes.
with
Exactly.
The nude model. Like,
Yes.
She's posing just like that.
Right.
Yes. We cut back to Peter waking up. He sees Dr. Oberto and Mulatto in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Peter finally does finger
Well,
his way over
he
to a
realizes
scalpel.
that he already had the scalpel because his hands cut
Cut,
from the night
yeah.
before.
So he's got the scalpel,
he's-
and he's starting to kind of cut his way free.
Which is where Orberto is definitely the Bond villain because they totally turn his attention
Yeah.
away from him. You know
They're
what I mean?
working on the other zombie they're going to transfer his
Jesus.
brain into. Now, they cut back and forth between this scene and Lori a whole lot. So I'm just going to stick with
a
Lori.
lot of jumping.
They cut back and forth, back and forth, back and forth,
Yeah,
back
yeah.
and forth. So I'm just going to stick with Lori here first.
Let's do that.
So we go back to the party, and like I said, it's fucking lit. They got an escort. They're walking through. There's a DJ. There's all kinds of shit going on. There must be a
There's a guy dealing X in the corner.
Yeah.
and of course there's the hype man. I guess
hype man.
he's the chief. He's
They got
all
gl-
he's painted up extra. He's a little bit more extra, and he's like, "What's up, everybody?"
He's throwing glow sticks out to the crowd, you know.
Yeah, and Lori is walking on her tiptoes the whole time.
Agreed.
Very, very, very beautiful walk. And she walks to this kind of like body cast that's carved into a rock.
It's a giant
Now-
flat like rock slab that has
Yes.
like an indentation of like
a body,
of a body, like,
with, like,
almost like a stick figure.
arms
Yeah.
akimbo.
I mean, it looks
Hey,
like
almost
someone,
like
This
Vesuvius
is
Man.
the
Yeah,
Vesuvian Man right here.
Well, it kind of looks like someone just got melted out of carbonite.
carbonite. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And
body mold or something.
it's fully spread out. Lori's like, "Yep, I guess I go in that."
Yeah, no shit.
She walks right over to it, lays completely down.
No struggle,
None.
no
No,
hesitation.
she's in, man.
She's
So it's
in. Like
Arms
what the
out,
Fuck?
spread eagle. She's
like,
laying
yeah,
there.
You know what? Just fucking kill
And
me.
then suddenly she looks over at the wall and sees the fucking emblem of the keto, and she's like, "Oh my god!"
Now she's like, "Oh, now she's
now
worried."
she puts it
Oh,
together.
you gotta be fucking
Right?
kidding
Like,
me.
you see, I know. Like this is the. I couldn't wrap my brain around
But then old boy, the head dude.
Yeah, the hype man.
Suddenly this knife comes back.
He's got Lori's knife.
Out of nowhere.
He's got Lori's knife
So
that
who
was stolen.
stole the knife?
Good
These
question.
are fucking natives who have like nothing.
Good
Like, how did the
question,
native? How did the knife get from
Marshall.
her apartment to this remote island? Like, and you know, on top of that, like ahead of her, like it happened like the day before they left. Like, how did it get there?
Good
How
question,
did it
Marshall.
get there?
So the rock all of a sudden has hydraulics on it because the rock. Then the slab goes.
Whoa.
Starts.
He goes to stab her, and he's like, wait.
Well, but this is why.
But then the slab falls back.
The slab lays back, and we see her legs completely spread eagle, and you can see everything that's there. And I think that's when all of a sudden they're like, "White girl pussy, yeah!"
And
Everyone, he
it's
starts
definitely
cheering. He starts saying something. He's like, "Oh my god! Can you see this? Oh my god!" And everyone just starts raising the roof and starts going crazy.
The
And
power
her
of
drapes,
pussy.
her drapes definitely match the carpet.
And they're just like, "Yeah!" They're
It sounds like, I'm sorry, but every time we do that, all I'm thinking was like it's like Batista's own entrance song.
dude,
You know what I'm talking about? Like,
No.
yeah, I walk through miles bitter danger, or some crap like that. I don't know.
I
can't
swear,
do it.
I thought at this point they were gonna say, "Fuck it, let's run a train on her." You know, let's all take a turn.
But the natives love it. Like, everyone's
Yeah.
on board. Everyone's just like, naked white girl, all right, let's party.
But she was naked before.
Yeah, but I guess once they saw...
She was naked before the table.
Yeah, but they didn't see the view of the beautiful white pussy.
Once the table went flat...
And
now
that's
First
it's
of all, you
it
didn't
was-
see the beautiful white pussy. You saw the beautiful blonde bush. That's all you saw.
Yeah, but once she laid back and was spread eagle, then the power of the heavenly light shot out from the white pussy and just washed over their sinful native mind and soul, and the power of the white pussy awakened them to the realization of glory and I'm too drunk to go on with this rant, but
Does it
you
have
know
to
what I'm
be-
talking
I mean,
about.
it's just the power of the pussy. How
Power of
about
the
just
pussy,
power
yeah.
of the pussy.
Power of the pussy.
Right on.
I'm
We
waiting for
love
the
you,
hate
women.
mail on this one.
I was gonna say, man.
Hey, we didn't make this movie, guys.
Yeah, we did not make it.
So we cut back to Peter, and like I said, they were cutting back and forth a lot, but we cut back to Peter, who's cutting himself free with that scalpel. Peter is able to free himself as the doctor is babbling on, not paying attention to Peter. He's just talking blah, 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 blah.
True blonde villain.
Yeah.
He's like...
Peter does the laziest sit-up. He's just like, "Oh, I'm too fat for this." He like slowly sits up. Mulatto sees him. He's like, "Oh shit," he's getting up. Mulatto runs over to him, and Peter, again, very lazily, kills
Scalpel
Mulatto
right
with
across the throat.
with a throat slit.
Another...
Tons of blood spraying
I'm
out
at that point,
everywhere.
Mulatto's just like, you know what?
Just kill me.
Just kill me. I'm done.
I'm
Like,
done.
I'm not even gonna fight. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
He's probably like, dude, I'm tired as fuck. I've been drinking all for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm basically
had
I'm
no
a
fucking
slave to this
sleep.
white dude.
I know.
This crazy
Listen,
white
I ain't
zombie
no
making
sleep.
white
Fucking
dude.
chasing you bitches through the fucking
Just
jungle.
call it a
God
day.
damn.
I'm tired of mosquitoes
Yeah,
and
no
malaria
shit.
and shit. Just, I'm done.
Yeah,
Just
so-
let
I
it
don't want to be
die.
around these fucking zombies anymore.
Peter-
Stank ass fucking shack. God damn.
Peter finally gets up, but it doesn't last very long. As soon as he gets up, you think it's going to be the showdown between the doctor and Peter.
Yeah.
And then 2 zombies come running in and they grab him pretty fast, and
it's
the
like-
doctor is pissed.
Yeah. So the zombies grab him.
Yeah, they grab him like the 2 orderlies in the beginning of the movie.
Right.
And it's funny because he gets free just as easily as Turbin did in the beginning of the movie. Peter wiggles free, runs off, and he finds a lantern that's hanging there, like an old school oil lantern.
Well,
Hanging
the
there.
doctor like orders the fucking zombies to put him back on the. He's like, I gotta kill you now, but I want your brain. So he orders the zombies to put him back on the fucking operating table.
Yeah.
Zombies ain't got no fucking brain, dude.
That's when Peter
How
wiggles.
can you fucking? I don't understand how you're like.
Oh, there's more. You're gonna hate
ordering
this.
zombies around.
You're gonna hate this because when he wiggles free, he grabs.
saw the movie, Aaron.
He grabs that lantern, that oil lantern, hits the zombie with it, and the zombie goes up in flame. Now
And
I've
starts
seen.
screaming.
Yes. Yes.
The fucking zombie.
I mean, I've seen zombies stagger when they get lit on fire, and they stagger around,
Right.
and they go, "Rrr," as
But
they
they're not like,
normally.
that doesn't happen.
I was so shocked when I heard a zombie screaming.
I know.
Like a little bitch, too.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
And then does nothing to try to. Obviously, it hurts. You think he'd be trying to pat that shit? He's
Nope.
like,
No.
just fucking-
No was the scream before? He wasn't going, what was he doing before? Yes! So as the screaming zombie flails around, Peter's fighting off the other zombie, but he's having a hard time fighting it off. But that's okay, because reinforcements are coming, boys.
Oh, no, because he tries to go back to that other fucking door that he still can't figure out how to work the fucking door.
He needs a stick. He needs his trusty stick.
He can't figure out how to work the door.
But that's okay, because natives all of a sudden come storming the building.
Yeah, every window and crevice.
They're coming through underneath the floor, through the windows, through the doors. They're invading this place.
My theory was that that Dr. Chambers was trying to push in when you're pull out.
Pull.
You know, you
Right.
ever done that one? I did that earlier at the gas station.
I've
I was
done
like,
that before.
oh, I gotta pull. Okay.
So the natives come in and they start hacking up the zombies and they overpower Dr. Oberto. Lori shows up in a new dress. You know,
It's you can see through it.
yeah,
so
but hey, it's
they must have just found some drapes. To
really
put
good
over.
material. Again, these natives, they're wearing loincloths, but they have that beautiful silk ribbon.
Of course.
They have these great dresses. I don't know
course.
where they're getting this from, but
I
must
still
be
don't understand.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the natives show up, and Peter and Lori escape. What they watch the
Amazon.
natives-
That's where they get Amazon.
Zing.
Oh, Marshall, you son of a bitch.
The natives start hacking up the doctor. Peter and Lori watch the natives do their thing,
Yeah.
start eating and shit. The natives
go
do.
ahead.
They start to go, oh shit's burning down. They all run out. Lori and Peter turn and watch.
It's almost
Freeze
like they're
frame.
like, hey guys, come on, we'll come back for barbecue. Come on.
Wait for this to cook. We'll be back. It'll be better. Freeze frame as Lori and Peter watch.
Mm-hmm.
The end comes flying at you in red letters.
Mm-hmm.
Roll credits.
What the fuck? And I know
That's
that's
the
the
movie.
ending. A
yeah.
freeze frame. They watch the
Right.
hut burn down. Like that's how it ends.
And I got
That's
a
it.
theory, guys. Okay. So I said, in the end, the whole place burns to the ground. Chandler and Lori survive. We never find out why the natives decided to help them. But my theory is
Power of the
that
pussy.
they survived by that sweet 70s blonde bush.
There you go.
I'm
Power.
saying.
That's what it's got to be.
They probably killed Peter, Paul, whatever his fucking name
Peter,
is, and then
yeah.
just worship her as like
Their queen.
Their
Yeah.
queen. Yeah.
It was weird that that's how it ended. I mean,
It's
there-
a horrible
no
ending.
explanation.
Like,
So
they
strange.
should just end like, okay, they're on the boat heading back to New York
Because
or plane or
the
something.
last
It
time,
is-
and the last time
so
we
they
saw,
they're left in the jungle with
Right.
the cannibals.
yeah.
So I'm assuming, okay, they watch it burn, and then the cannibals like, fuck it, eat them now too. Like they're gonna be eaten.
Well,
like that's a horrible ending.
we saw the last
They
time we
may
saw
have put
Lori.
Peter on a fucking
spit. Yeah.
No, stick, rotate him around.
Yeah.
Burn him on the fire. You throw him on,
Yeah,
cook
I
his
mean,
ass. Barbecue Peter.
We saw Lori like about to get it. And then of course they all started raising the roof when they saw her badge and going crazy. It was
Well, if
so
you want to go
weird.
way back, that whole fucking first 10 minutes of this movie had absolutely nothing to do with the entire
Nothing.
movie.
No, it doesn't.
That's why it was
the
so.
whole hospital. The only thing is, is like the link, the cult, the weird, the cannibal
keto-
cult,
the keto cult.
keto cult.
Keto
Yeah,
is a
but-
cult.
To the but you're right. It really could have been. It could have been anything.
These
I don't know.
these keto cannibals are on a keto diet. High fat protein, very little carbs.
They are very skinny in the jungle.
They're very svelte.
very svelte.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
All right, so
I mean, Snuff Maximus had absolutely nothing to do
Yeah.
with this movie.
They really wanted us to see Snuff Maximus, but no Snuff Maximus. Yeah.
also, I don't understand why there are zombies in New York.
Good question.
Because in the very old when they're shooting all these various zombies,
Nothing.
some of them we see them again in the jungle. The ones like the shit-faced
Right.
zombies. But there's clearly this one dude who's got like a white afro, like the white Jufro, curly hair, all fight. And he's walking. He's like wearing a suit. He's walking like a subway or a tunnel.
Yeah.
And he's clearly in
Right.
a city, but like never ever.
Exactly.
In the rest of the movie, are there zombies in the city? They're
Nope.
all on the island.
And that's why I said at the beginning of the podcast was that's like the preface that sets up is that it's supposed to be like it seems like it's going to be the hospital or the city or something's going to be happening
Right,
there.
right.
Nope, we go to a jungle.
Yeah.
Well, we'll dig more into
well,
this in a minute. Let's move on.
Some jungle.
Some jungle. Some
Sherwood Forest.
Sherwood Forest.
Yes.
Let's move on to our favorite kills.
Don't act like you didn't love it. Favorite kill.
So, all right, I don't know how you want to do this. We're getting a little audio kickback, but all right, hopefully that'll fix it. All right, anyway, favorite kills. Chris, you want to kick us off with favorite kill?
Shit, man.
There was a lot of very
quick,
crazy kills.
very hard. Man. Do zombies count as kills?
And this one, I'm saying yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I really want to go with the dinghy motor
Yes.
kill.
Because that zombie goes,
So
oh shit.
badass. If I had to go like an honorable mention, because it's right there, I would also go with the George kill.
Yeah, the George one was good.
Because
too.
that was so good when they poked the eyes out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know. I know the effects sucked, but we're talking 1980, and when they stick that finger in that dude's eye, it looks so good. Those are mine. That one. I'm gonna go with the zombie boater moat kill.
Okay. Aaron?
Boatermoat?
Boatermoat?
Motorboat.
Motorboat. Motorboat.
That's okay. That's okay. We drinking. It's a long
We're a few
podcast.
Aaron, what's yours?
So I know I love all those kills too, but for some reason the native, the manservant running away with the Indiana Jones trap.
Yeah.
I just like that one. I like the trap. I like him getting impaled from the
awesome,
back.
yeah.
I like him getting like stunned, and And then when they came up and they slit his throat, the spray, and then they started tearing him apart,
Yeah.
like with their bare hands, and they're
That's
cutting
awesome.
him open.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, this is what we're getting into. This is
And that was the first
Yes.
on-screen
That's the
kill.
first
Yes.
real kill. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that like I was like, shit,
Here we go.
Here we go.
And that, honestly, after that one, it was boom, boom, boom,
Yes.
boom, boom. There was multiple kills
And this
right after
this is
that.
not
Yes,
a
yes.
slow-paced movie. It is constantly moving.
No, but we were 35 minutes into it until we first saw, and that's halfway through
Yeah.
the movie before we saw the first off-screen with the first servant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But once
So-
it gets going, holy shit.
yeah. It's a wild ride.
So that's my favorite kill.
Nice.
I'm on the. I kind of lean on the teetering towards the Chris side of this. I'm kind of there with either the George kill was good, but honestly, I think I'm going there with the outboard motor to the zombie skull. That thing.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And for us, and at least for me and you, that marks the second time in our show that we've seen the outboard motor.
Yes,
as
the
a kid.
Mutilator.
Mutilator, exactly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did not see that movie.
Yeah,
sorry.
Mutilator, which came out after this, but I wonder if maybe that's where they got inspiration from. But I'm going with the outboard motor as my favorite kill. But you're right, George
Again,
was
that
good,
was-
and the manservant
Yeah.
bearer guy, basically the human pack mule.
I think I just realized maybe that audio interference we're getting was my phone.
Oh,
I just moved it,
ah,
and now I don't hear it.
yeah,
Sorry about that.
yeah.
That outboard motor, like that was the scene that was.
That
like,
that was
we
awesome.
have to do this movie.
Yeah.
It was good. All
I
right,
could
so
never get Marshall on board until 2 years later.
all right, let's move on to the odds and ends.
Just when you thought it was over, here comes the odds and ends.
All right, ratings. IMDb gives it a 5.2 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, surprisingly, as old as this movie is, there's still no official thermometer score, but it does have a 38% audience score. And Amazon gives it a 4 out of 5. Plot keywords. There are 118 plot keywords.
God damn.
Holy
A
shit!
lot of them were, basically, blood, cannibal, gore,
Zombie.
zombie, blah blah blah.
Sherwood Forest.
I wrote down 1, and I was so happy to see this come back. Aaron already is throwing a fist up, so I think he might know what it is.
The panties.
Woman in bra and panties. Finally, the panty lovers have shined back in again. Panties has made it back.
Finally, the panties have come back to horrible horror.
Can you smell what the panties are cooking.
guys
This
are
is the first episode you've ever listened to us.
We love wrestling references.
I'm talking about the panty reference. Like, why are we so? That's not. I'm sure people are like, oh, wrestling. Yeah, that's what they're curious about. Why are we going apeshit over panties? If this is the first episode you ever listened to us, go back. Like our first 100 episodes, so it almost seemed like every
plot keyword,
almost every other movie we did, the plot keywords were panties in almost every episode, and we're like, holy shit,
people love panties.
The panty purrs are all over IMDb plot keywords, and became an ongoing joke.
And
but then the last several months, we a big drought where we haven't had the panty lovers. But here it is. They are back.
The panties are back.
And on top of that, you just so happen to fall upon the Rock references.
Yes. And the Rock references. Anyway, trivia. Let's move on to trivia. I wrote down a few things. If you guys have anything in your research, let me know. But this was apparently filmed on the same set or location as Lucio Fulci's Zombies or Zombie movie. Although never
we need to do that one.
Although never listed in the UK as an official video nasty, the pre-cut video was seized by Cambridgeshire police, and the dealer was tried under Section 2 of the Obscene Publications Act of 1977. Though eventually found not guilty, the film was also released fully uncut in 2000. The movie was banned under the obscenities law in most parts of Europe as well as England.
I love when they said the video nasty
Video
list.
nasties.
Video
nasties.
You nasties. Lacey Evans.
Yeah, exactly. I'm about to say that. I was like, I don't know if people. Yeah, Lacey Evans. Most of the music used in the movie soundtrack was from singer-songwriter Nico Fidenko's "Emmanuel and the Last Cannibals," which was a softcore porn movie, which also starred Dr. Umberto. Is in that movie.
I just call him Umberto. I know it's wrong.
And
Lori.
No, she was in Emmanuel and Joanne.
Susan.
Susan was she was in Emmanuel and Joanne, not Emmanuel and the Last Cannibals. Get it straight.
I guess I'm fucking up on this one.
Okay, we're trying to figure it out.
Anyway. Yeah, so
Marshall's got this shit nailed.
I know my softcore porn, damn it.
How much research have you done, Marshall?
A lot. My dick's sore. Anyway, so that's all I got. If you guys found anything else out, you can add it, but that's all I wrote down.
The only thing I thought weird was in the opening credits, it said copyright 1981, but apparently this movie was
released in 1980.
Released in 80, yeah. But that might be. We watched it as Dr. Butcher. So it's probably that's probably the Dr. Butcher copyright. The Zombie Holocaust was probably released in 1980, the Italian. Yeah. So there's probably all sorts of different copyrights and dates.
Considering it's got three different names at least.
Like 3 or 4 different names. Right. Budget, I could not find the budget for this movie.
Neither could I.
So we don't get the budget game, unfortunately, but that does bring us to 5-star reviews.
Is this your guilty pleasure? 5-star reviews.
All right, 5-star reviews. There are only. I was stunned by this. There were only 2 custom reviews on Amazon. Only 2.
Really?
Only 2.
This is one of your Italian gore fest movies.
Yeah, and I thought
like a zombie type movie. You know, cut from the same cloth as Felucci.
You would think this would.
I thought this would be like a cult classic to be much fun, but no, only 2 reviews on Amazon.
Because correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, like these Italian movies are like
regarded by many as fun.
There's a whole genre of people who love this.
Whole subculture of horror nerds who love this shit.
The Italian Giallo, whatever it's pronounced, what we talked about at the top of the show. Anyway, both of them, they were 4-star reviews.
Interesting. Only 4 stars.
Both of them were 4-star reviews.
So these must be like super snobs when it comes to this Giallo style.
I didn't write them down because they weren't that great. It's like, whatever, 4 stars.
So you didn't even write them down.
I didn't. So for reviews, because we needed something, I did go to IMDb where there was a ton more there.
Oh, okay.
But of course, a lot of them were like fucking writing novels.
IMDb, I don't know what it is with those guys, but they write fucking novellas.
You get them on Amazon too. I've seen Amazon ones that are like 5 paragraphs long or a whole page. Like, fuck you. Right. So and the IMDb ones range from like 9, 10 out of 10 to 1 out of 10. So I wrote down just 2. Just 2. I wrote down a 4 out of 10 review, which had one of the great titles I loved, entitled. I should say. Here's how it starts off. You got my zombie movie and my cannibal film. You got my cannibal film and my zombie flick. Put them together and you get a completely mindless movie.
Yeah.
Yes, the title of the film is completely misleading. The zombie Holocaust one, that's in parentheses, as when I hear it, I imagine hordes of zombies rampaging the countryside. Instead, we are mainly get a cannibal horror film fused together with a Mad Doctor film with a dash of zombies in it for taste. 4 out of 10. And that's a great point.
Yeah,
I was gonna try to bring this up when we got to our final thoughts, but I want to do it now before I forget. It's granted the original title is Zombie Holocaust. So yeah, this guy nails like you think like, oh, it's gonna be like hordes of like Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead style, just rampaging through a city, killing things.
And they even tease you with that at the very beginning because they show zombies walking through the city.
But all the zombies are on
I was trying to say, like, it makes no sense.
One fucking island. There's no Holocaust here. It's basically like Zombies Island Vacation.
Well, let's break down Zombie Holocaust. Wouldn't that mean like
the zombies in concentration camps?
Kinda. Well, kinda. Wouldn't it mean? I mean,
zombies going to the showers. I mean,
whoa. I mean, if I'm thinking zombie Holocaust, I mean, I'm thinking people like taking out zombies.
Or just like,
you know what I'm saying?
Massive. It's like wars. So like the end of the world. Apocalypse.
World War Z. Shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Dr. Butcher makes
way more sense.
Exactly. And in most cases, when they rename the movies, I don't get, but Dr. Butcher, I 100% agree, makes so much more sense and is actually the better. It's a shitty title, but it's a better. It's the best title for this movie. It actually makes somewhat sense.
Exactly.
So anyway, move on. And then a 1 out of 10 review reads, one of those so bad it's good productions. Zombie Holocaust has to be seen to believe, and even then you still won't believe it. The only thing the film has going for it are its tragically inept gore effects. So make sure you see the uncut version. Not so much a zombie movie as a cannibal movie. The film's quote-unquote stars Italian exploitation fave Ian McCulloch as some kind of doctor sent to investigate a strange tropical island where he finds the requisite mad doctor performing experiments on the locals. He is pleased to see McCulloch, though, as he is anxious to experiment on a white man brain.
I love that.
If you want serious horror, look elsewhere. But if you love cheesy movies, go ahead, jump right in. Which sounds pretty good for a 1 out of 10 review.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no shit.
So that's why I was a little confused about why he gives a 1. But there's not much to say about the review wise that I really went into. So let's just move on to our final thoughts and our recommendations. Chris, what's your final take?
Well, like I said, I mean, Zombie Holocaust doesn't really. It's like, what the fuck? Dr. Butcher makes way more sense. Ultimately,
MD. Don't forget the MD.
I forget the MD. Yes.
Medical deviant.
That's right.
Because if you watch the trailer, they say that so many times in the
Medical
trailer.
deviant.
Medical deviant.
Forgot about that.
He makes house calls. Medical deviant. Medical deviant. I'm sorry. Go on.
I mean, at the end of the day, the overdubbing's weird. The plot is way out there. The gore is pretty good for the 80s. I feel like, and like, ultimately, I mean, what was the movie? An hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
An hour and 20 minutes.
If that, yeah.
Dude.
I'm sure this podcast is way longer.
Take an hour and 20 minutes out of your day, watch this movie, and just take it for what it is. I say so bad it's good. I mean, for what it was, I mean, dude, I loved it. And I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to do this because, again, I've been begging Marshall since episode 100. This is 177 right now, or 178.
178. Yeah, I think 178.
So 78 episodes ago.
Yeah. Years ago.
Beyond that, I was like, let's do this movie. And finally, I tweaked his nipples hard enough.
You yelled at us.
Pretty much. I did yell at you, jabronis.
So, I guess this goes to me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to agree with Chris. So bad it's good. I had a lot of fun watching it because it is so ridiculous. It's so stupid. When I saw that guy jump to the window, plummeting to his death, and his mannequin arm broke right off, I'm like, yes! This is my kind of horror movie. I'm in. Where are we going? This, like, I remember watching the first 12 minutes of the movie. And so much, like, I was taking so much notes. I'm like, I can't. It's because so much is packed in this movie. This is something Chris mentioned. Yes, it's an hour and 20 minutes, but man, it's. You even said, like, even though the first kill really doesn't happen until 30 minutes, there's still so much ridiculous, bizarre, bonkers stuff that happens.
The first on-screen kill is 35 minutes in.
And to be perfectly honest,
and that's halfway through the movie.
One of my favorite parts is the first act. Yeah. I like the first 30 minutes.
I agree.
I wasn't bored at all. I was having a great time.
I was so bummed taking notes today because I had to pause it so many times to take notes. I was like, damn it, I just want to watch the movie.
It took me forever.
Yeah. Welcome to my world. How it normally takes me like 3 times as long as the actual movie to get when I'm taking my notes.
Oh my God. But I had so much fun with this movie. The gore was good. The ridiculous natives, the bizarre, like, xenophobic racism. I don't know what you want to call it. I'm not that woke to know what exactly it's called, but I know something was very wrong about it. It was just bizarre.
We delete.
It was bizarre stuff. It was a lot of fun though. At the end of the day, so bad it's good. Watch it for kind of what Marshall was saying. It's just that Italian gore fest style. It's not obviously not one of the best, but man, it's a weird one. It's fun. Check it out.
So much fun, yeah. Oh, fuck you.
I can already tell by the sigh.
Damn it, Marshall.
I don't know where I stand on this.
Speak the truth, baby.
Holy shit.
Everything Aaron you said, like, I love, like, it's fucking stupid. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It doesn't make any sense, really. It's just retarded, but it...
There you go, kid. Dude, you're not woke. Quit saying that word.
Chris's face power. He's turned away from the mic over here. Like,
we made it through the whole episode. I've been on Marshall to try and get him to stop saying retarded. He won't stop. We almost made it through the whole episode.
I know.
I will break him.
I love, like, the jump to the window and the mannequin. Yeah, it had me laughing. The stupidness had me laughing. Like, it's terrible, but I just don't know if I'd recommend it.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
All right,
Out of some of the bullshit that you have said is so bad it's good, you cannot get behind this fucking movie. I'm going to call you out like a fucking child right now, you son of a bitch. Not that I would say son of a bitch to a child. God damn it, man-child. All right, give me your opinion. You're entitled to it.
I am torn. Like,
you...
There are points where, like, I don't know. Like, if it wasn't for this, for the show, I don't know if I'd watched this movie originally. Like, having seen it, yeah, we had a great time talking about it, which is most time the case.
Right.
But I'm like, would I go back and watch this a third or fourth time on my own? And I'm just like,
a third or fourth time.
No.
So you're saying you watched it twice?
1.5 times.
Did you enjoy it the first time you watched it?
I enjoyed parts of it. I did. I enjoyed parts of it. There's some stuff that I got like bored here and there. But I will say, for what it is, for people who like the gore movies and this type of movie, it has its place. The gore effects are there. It's the early 80s, late 70s, the shock value of the gore that is the draw. Because otherwise, to me, the movie was completely, I think, kind of forgettable, and I could have done. But the gore effects are what people draw this, and the shock value, and that's what it was designed for. So in that case, I gotta say it accomplished its goal and what it wanted to do.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Are you being somewhat, stingent because you were doing this for a podcast? If you were just watching it as a fucking like a
buddies
horror
hanging
movie,
out, buddies hanging out having beers.
Do you think maybe it was more enjoyable than you were like having to like focus on it and just instead of just watching it as just like, oh man, what's this movie?
You make a good point there. You make a good point on that. You might be right. There might be some sort of like, I have to, like.
Hey,
I look
can I
at
tell
it
you
like,
something
I
real
gotta
quick?
do this,
Can I tell you something real quick? I may not maybe right. I am right. So I'm just telling, you know what I mean?
All right.
I think you're thinking too deep here, man, and You're taking an awful long time to tell if it's so
Fine,
bad
fine.
good
I'll
or if it's so bad.
fuck it.
Chris is twisting that arm.
Fuck it. So bad it's good.
No, in fact, I put the sharpshooter on his ass.
Oh man.
I would say it's worth.
I feel like we got Montreal Screwjobbed here.
Yeah.
It's worth a watch. Son of a bitch.
It's worth a watch. It's worth a watch. I don't think it's worth multiple viewings or something you need to rush out and see. But if you got the time, you find it. Especially right now, because it's not on Prime. If you can find it for free, then 100% just watch it.
I agree with that.
Like I actually ended up buying the movie instead of just renting it because
You dumb son of a bitch.
My thing is that because I have to watch these multiple times, if the movie.
I know.
If it on Prime, if the movie is cheaper for me to buy than it is to rent twice, I just straight up buy it.
I'm not gonna lie. I called Marshall on Friday night, and I was like, because I guess Prime like changed their deal. They used to say this is a 48-hour rental or this is a 24-hour rental. But it's like you can rent this for $2.99 or whatever it was. I was like, well, how long's that rental? So I had to call Marshall, and I was like, Marshall was like, why are you calling me about this? You're bothering me. You didn't even want to hear my ass,
That's not true at all.
It did feel that way, obviously. But either way, it's all good. I wouldn't have said it if I didn't feel it. But it ended up being, it was $1.99.
48 hours.
48 hours. I got to watch the movie twice. I probably would have watched it a third time if I had had time, but I didn't.
So
yeah,
if it's worth the money, then it's cheap enough.
And if you guys go SD, if you go to the options, you can go SD. And
I went SD. It was $1.99.
$1.99.
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So there you go. It's
like,
cheap
I ain't
enough.
paying
Watch
for the
it.
HD. I ain't paying an extra buck for the HD.
I want to watch it in the SD glory that it was made in back in 1980.
I still got the smart TV, so it's still higher def.
Right.
So whatever.
Watch it once. It's worth it. So bad it's good. Let's move on. Let's wrap this up.
Oh, I twisted him into it.
Tied him up like a Texas clover leaf. Yeah.
No, we're doing The Rock. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Dropped the people's elbow on that ass.
No
and I made him
Dean
submit.
I was waiting for the people's elbow reference.
No man of 1,000 holds.
A rock bottom,
Anybody Dean Malenko love? No one.
Dean Malenko, great, but he had no personality. That's why he didn't last very long.
Yeah. He sucked. Personality.
He was a
great
fucking-
wrestler.
He was a
Great
fucking-
wrestler.
Just
Awesome.
emotionless stone.
Again, hey, Aaron, know your role.
Ugh.
Yeah. On that note, guys, we'll be back later with another terrible horror movie. So in the
I
meantime,
feel like I just beat Marshall down.
I know. He's like,
so sad.
Marshall looks exhausted now, even though this is like the most one of the like a podcast with the least amount of Marshall, and he looks way more exhausted.
Hey, I want to thank you for doing this.
oh no, yeah, it's fine.
Finally giving in.
It was fun.
The thing was, I've had this on my list, like in my queue for a long time, but I forget about it. Like other things pop up, and I'm like, oh, let's do this, and it gets kind of pushed back, and then you have to remind me, and you remind me, and now I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'll get on the schedule.
So,
and that's what we did. So
note to self: I got to get you drunk and guilt you into doing a movie I choose.
Full of steak too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that night we had a bunch of steak. That was
Did we
great.
smoke weed that night too?
Yeah. Well, you guilted me into it at Knoxville, so we were kind of drunk. I was kind of drunk.
Full of steak. I was full of steak.
During the con? We didn't have.
I'm always full of steak.
No,
That's
like
like
I'm always
either way.
We were drinking anyway. We'll be back next time. In the meantime, guys, watch more horror movies. And remember to always keep it tight.
Peace.